Pray that your great power will enter into their rooms even now, bring healing to their bodies, strengthen them, raise them up. And Father, we will be certain to praise you for your goodness, because we know that you are capable of doing things far beyond what we could ask or think. And so we commit Harper Smith, Northland Quist, and their families to you. And we trust that you will do for them what only God can do for them. Heal them, raise them up, and may they be an example to all of us in these communities of what God can do in the lives of these sweet little girls. Thank you again for tonight. Thank you that it's not just about a football game. It's not just about little girls. It's about two communities coming together and recognizing that with you, all things are possible. Thank you for what you will do, and may we be quick to thank you and praise you for your goodness to us. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
That's Pastor Doug Smith leading the folks on both sides of this field in prayer to open this up. And Hawkeye, you said it before he came on. This is about two communities that are certainly rivals on the football field, but they definitely see the need to come together in situations like this.
Please rise.
Yeah, and like they said, Harper Smith has been recovering well. She had a little bit of a setback yesterday. She still isn't the boss. She's having a hard time keeping the food down.
McBain High School Marching Band under the direction of Heather Wiggins, featuring the greatest piccolo player and tuba player you will ever hear in any high school marching band. There is no bias in that statement whatsoever. And now that the pregame things are done, our thanks to Northern Truck Service for their support of this pregame show. It's time to talk about football, Hawkeye. This, as mentioned, a heated rivalry between these two schools. No matter the sport, they will go at each other with emotion, with passion. The old cliche is you can throw the records out. In this case, 2-0, the Lake City Trojans yet to give up a point on the season. McBain Ramblers 1-1 after pulling out a win 12-3 last week against Morley Stanwood, a game that you may have heard bits of, I think, on YouTube last week, right? Did we get on the radio at some point?
No, we did never got on the radio, but we did it on Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, that's what it was. Thank you. The Trojans, of course, Hawkeye, coming off a 12-1 season that ended in the Division VII state semifinals. They lost by a relatively large margin, but no shame in that, to Palamo, Westphalia at Clare High School. A tremendous season for Lake City, especially coming off a 2-7 season the year before. And they bring back a lot of the key players, and probably, perhaps most importantly, they return quarterback Matthew Holt at senior. He really makes this offensive engine go.
Yeah, the Holt-Marion offense has really been clicking. Benjamin Marion, the tight end for the Lake City Trojans, has been playing outstanding ball this year, and they now seem to hit that next level of Gronk Brady type of connection.
Yeah, Benjamin Marion, of course, his two older brothers coming through the program, famously leading Lake City to some tremendous success under former head coach Tim Peterson, and now Benjamin helping these Trojans to try and repeat the pattern. Just a junior, and he is a big target. The Ramblers, though, Hawkeye, have some big targets of their own for quarterback Gavin Seelan on the outside as well.
Yeah, we have some great wide receivers with George Brown. The third, you have, we're almost saying go-go gadget Berkmos, because his arm seems just to go an extra 4 feet past his body. You can throw in there the captain, Logan Rodenbaugh, because we had to call, he's now the captain. Logan Rodenbaugh is called the captain because younger brother Daniel Rodenbaugh was the quarterback for part of the game last week, and we didn't want to confuse the two Rodenbaughs, but we couldn't keep the Logans the same because Logan Vanderboss was the running back for most of the game. So he'll be the captain. I know no one needed that explanation, but that's the explanation. So things that you missed last week.
Yes.
Gavin Seelan went out after halfway through the first quarter with a hamstring pull. He has been nursing that pull, and they will only let him go one way tonight instead of playing both ways. So he is the starting quarterback, and he will be playing only quarterback, which means Daniel Rodenbaugh, his backup, is actually moving into the starting safety position for the Ramblers, and then going to bump McGillis up to corner where Seelan normally plays. Second thing is that Bam Bam is back, and he's made his presence known. That is Noah Henriksen. He's going to be the defensive end. He's only playing one way there. He's defensive end, but he's someone who has the size and the speed to really help out.
It's interesting that that they're going to use Bam Bam on the defensive side of the ball. He's been such an important part of the offense last year. He had some big games, but more important, I assume, Coach Maloney feels on the defensive side.
Well, they're trying to protect his shoulder, so they would not let him be the running back because he delivers so much blow with his shoulder.
Well, you just tell Noah, don't hit people with your shoulder.
Okay. Hey, what's going on here?
What we have here, Hawkeye, is the start of a football game as Lake City won the toss, I assume.
Yes.
And elected to receive in the second half, and the kickoff will go into the end zone. And so McBain will start things off for us at their own 20-yard line. Here in McBain, the Ramblers in their home gold pants with the green uniforms, gold numbers, gold helmets. They have been home all 3 weeks of this season. They will take on the Everett Wildcats next week in their first road contest. So Seelan under center, Seelan in the shotgun, man in motion, and it is a little trickeration. Ball is underthrown, but into the hands and out of the intended target, Garrett Verberkmos. And Hawkeye, you're going to have to help me out because I don't have a 7 on my roster.
7? Justin Camphouse, number 2, threw the pass.
Was it 2?
Yes.
Why did it look like a 7? These numbers are terrible. Justin Camphouse trying to hit Verberkmos up the right sideline. That ball looked like it was woefully underthrown. I thought Ryan Taliansky was going to pick that off. But it managed to get through, but incomplete. 2nd and 10. Seelan's going to keep it himself, and he's going to go straight up the middle. The hamstring apparently not an issue going north-south as he's got a Rambler first down just shy of the 35-yard line. Give him the 34. First down, McBain.
Yeah, great hole by that offensive line. And, Seelan is a fantastic weapon. He's your number 1 running threat, and that's what they need to keep going with.
And there's a fumble, and Camphouse will have to jump on it as the handoff
recovered by the Ramblers.
Fumbled between Seeland and Camphouse. And so they will lose some yardage. They're going to set this back at around the 27-yard line. Loss of 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 17. Seeland and Camphouse. And so they will lose some yardage.
Well, it's the first time I've seen that sweep ran through Camphouse, and I think he just got a little bit nervous on that one. Normally we will see that run to George Brown, the 3rd.
Shotgun formation again for Sealand. He's going to roll to his left using some blockers. This is a keeper all the way. Sealand trying to turn upfield, but he is tripped up nicely. Noah Thome, I believe is how you pronounce that. Diving in underneath and getting the ankle of Sealand.
That'll bring up third down.
Sealand got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 17 now for the Ramblers. 10:46 to go here in the opening quarter. No score. McBain coming off a 7-3 season last year. They lost to the Trojans in a pre-district contest, so Lake City beat them twice last year. Sealand back to pass, looking right, throwing, and that is going to be intercepted as he was intending that pass for Logan Rodenbaugh. And I don't know if Rodenbaugh, Hawkeye, got caught up in his pattern, and Sealand didn't realize it because he well overthrew that, and the only player really who had a chance at it was Talyansky, and he reels it in, and it'll be Lake City football.
Yeah, that's the first pass that was close to an interception or a defender had a chance at, and Lake City took advantage of that.
And he reels it in, and it'll be Lake City football. Yeah, so with 10:26 to go in the opening quarter, Lake City will take over at their own 47-yard line. Excellent field position, and now we see a team that has piled up 89 points in its opening 2 games. You're listening to WCDY, McBain Cadillac, Lake City, as Matthew Holt, senior quarterback, in the shotgun. He'll hand it off, and over the right edge of center is David Greenfield, and he is going to be tripped up and stopped after a couple-yard gain. They're going to mark this ball.
It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Trojans.
The head linesman sort of indicating, move that a little farther forward of my feet. I'm not sure what he's telling him. They're going to give him the 49-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 now for Lake City. Trojans going right to left in their road black pants with the white jerseys, red numbers, red helmets. They're going to give him the 49-yard line. Holt again in the shotgun. Greenfield, the running back, a step ahead of him. Sorry, that's not Greenfield. That is Thome. And Thome will take the handoff around the right side. And Verberkmos will snag him and sling him back. As forward progression is going to give him, well,
-1.
-1, yeah, a loss of a yard or so, give him the 48-yard line. So the Trojans will face a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, great job there by Garrett Verberkmos was actually playing a strong safety Benny Blaze type of play there and came up quickly on Thome.
I think it's Greenfield in the backfield again for Holt. Holt now under pressure. He's going to step up, hit from behind as he throws. He's got a man wide open, and it is caught. And falling out of bounds shy of the end zone. I believe that is Logan McDonald. It doesn't look big enough to be Ben Marion, but maybe it is Marion. I can't tell. 86 or 88?
I got Ben Marion.
It is Marion. Yep. I believe that is Logan McDonald. So Marion makes the catch. He got lost somehow amidst the Rambler secondary. Makes the catch up the right sideline and stumbles out of bounds just outside the 5-yard line. Give him the 6. It'll be 1st and goal for Lake City.
Yeah, that's a blown coverage because you should not let anyone get behind you when you're playing a 2-deep safety formation, and someone just didn't think he had the arm, and they should realize that Holt can go deep.
I formation behind Holt. Miles McLeod is the fullback. The handoff is to Thome, and Thome is into the end zone, and Lake City puts the first points on the board. 6-yard touchdown run by senior Noah Thome with 8:57 to go in the first.
You know, McBain's looked like they had a good defensive stand there until they gave up that bomb to Marion. If they would have been able to better defend that, McBain would be in business right now.
Kick on the way is good. Mika Schwab with the successful extra point attempt. And so the Lake City Trojans on the road take a 7-0 lead with 8:57 to go in the first. We'll take a 30-second break and be back right after this.
Providing great service and quality to our customers, LC Materials is here for you and all your concrete and aggregate needs, both residential and commercial projects. We can assist you in estimates, sand and gravel needs, project details, and on-time delivery. LC LC Materials is also in Cadillac at the Concrete Store. The Concrete Store has building supplies, stone, block, tools, and other accessories to help you finish your project. So when you're ready, call LC Materials. We're ready when you are. Online at lcmaterials.net.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. 8:57 to go here in the opening quarter. And the Lake City Trojans have a 7-0 lead on the host Ramblers. As you mentioned before we took the quick break there, Hawkeye, the Ramblers defense looked pretty solid, but a busted coverage and a Ben Marion catch gave them first and goal at the 6. Noah Thome punched it in from there, and it's a quick 7-0 hole. But a busted coverage and a Ben Marion catch. Lake City with the McBain tradition of using a lineman to kick off. And it's a quick 7-0. This is going to be picked up on the outside. Noah Hendrickson, Bam Bam with a head of steam. Apparently, he's allowed to carry the ball on kick returns.
Apparently.
Well, I tell you what, he is an impressive defender, but man, offensively, just the way he moves, I wouldn't want to get in his way to tackle him.
Yeah, when it got in his hands, I thought he might be able to run over the tackler there, and actually he may have taken it over into Lake City territory.
8:51 to go here in the first. McBain trails 7-0. Seelan in the backfield alongside Logan Rodenbaugh. They send Camphouse in motion, and they'll give it to Rodenbaugh. Fights through one tackle, but then he is gang tackled on the outside. He'll get out to the 35-yard line, give him a yard or so. It'll be 2nd and 9. Shook off one arm tackle, but the Trojans came in another wave, and he was dropped by about 3 white jerseys. It'll be 2nd and 9. Shook off one arm tackle, but
now they're going to be hard to tell because number 34 is the captain, Logan Rodenbaugh. But if you see the knee brace in the backfield, that is actually going to be Logan Vandenboss. Now they're going to be hard to tell because number 34 is so Logan Vandenboss is just starting tailback tonight.
35, gotcha. Fumbled snap by Seelan. He'll pick it up and push his way over the 35. Give him another yard. It'll be 3rd and 8 now for McBain. Having a little difficulty with the ball tonight, Hawkeye.
Yeah,
another yard. It'll be 3rd and 8 now.
There's some nerves out there. All these players they were, as they like to say, jacked up before the game, and they actually need to burn off a little bit of energy. I think some of them to get themselves under control and play under control.
Inside 7:40 to go here in the opening quarter.
They actually need to burn off a little bit of energy.
Sealing in the shotgun. Rolling to his left has Verberkmos underneath. Verberkmos makes a move. He's got a first down and more as he is pushed out of bounds near midfield. Verberkmos with a little move, a nice stiff arm. And he gets over the 45 and stopped. We'll give him right at the 50. And it is a first down for McBain. So the big man, 6'6", making a nice move in the open field to pick up the extra yardage.
When he wants to go after that ball, there's nobody that can stop him.
4 receivers set for the Ramblers. Pistol formation this time. Seelan will hand it off to the running back. Is that Auden Ealing?
Auden Ealing with the run up the gut right there for a good 7-yard gain.
Ealing into Lake City territory up to the 43-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3 now for McBain as we come up to the 7-minute mark here in the first quarter. And now we're seeing the little quicker offense from McBain that we saw in week 1. And maybe saw last week as well. Seelan, high snap. And the Trojans were in the backfield like in a blink of an eye surrounding Seelan on that after the snap. Bounced off Sealan's hands. He gathered it in and managed to move forward. They're going to mark this just on the other side of the 40. Excuse me, the 45. So it's a loss really of a couple. They're going to call it 3rd and 3 or so. Sealan now rolling to his right, throwing underneath for Camphouse, and Camphouse had the first down in and out of his hands. He heard the footsteps of Devin Davis, and he looked upfield before he had gathered it in. And the incompletion is going to bring up 4th down.
And the thing is, he still took the blow.
You're going to get hit anyway. You might as well catch the ball.
You didn't protect yourself. You still took the blow.
Right on.
And the thing is, he still
So profound, Hawkeye. You're going to get hit anyway. You might as well catch the ball. 6:27 to go here in the first.
I could see Maloney coming back to that play, but telling Sealand that if he could see a little gap, pump fake that, tuck and run.
Tuck and run. 6:27 to go here in the 3 receivers to the near side as the Ramblers go left to right. Sealand again rolling to his right. Sealand, this time he's going to throw, and he's got a man. He looked like he was going to tuck and run. And Sealand keeping his head up, sees Logan Rodenbaugh in the middle of the field. Beautiful pass. Hits Rodenbaugh, and it's a McBain first down. That was well done by Gavin Sealand.
Yeah, great job by the captain out there to get wide open and just lay out his body to make sure that he caught that pass.
13-yard pickup makes it first down for McBain at the 33-yard line of the Trojans. Sealand in the pistol. Sealand will hand it off, and Vandenbos has nowhere to go. Might have gained a yard. We'll give him the 32. Actually, the 32 is where he was, so we'll give him nothing. 2nd and 10. Might have gained a yard for McBain as we get inside the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter. 7-0 Lake City with the lead as Camphouse comes to the sideline. A little bit of a personnel change. 4 receivers again for Sealand in the shotgun. Vandenbos switches from his right to his left. Offensive line sets. Ealing in motion. Ealing fakes the handoff. Sealand fakes the handoff to Ealing. Sealand keeps it himself, tries the middle of the line, and there's not much there as Big Thomas Bloomberg III preventing Sealand from getting ahead of steam. It does get to the 30-yard line, so give him a couple, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 8 now for McBain with 5:15 to go here in the first.
You know, the offensive line right now has been doing a good job of pass blocking, but they haven't been able to move the line much. And now, on the Rambler View earlier today, Maloney is worried about the size of Lake City's line, and if you look like that, there's a lot of muscle on Lake City's side, and they're a little bit bigger than our line, so he's hoping our speed may be able to help that out.
Trips to the left for the Ramblers. Sealand in the shotgun. He's got Vandenbos in the backfield. Verberkmos, the lone receiver, to the right. Sealand rolling to his left. Now sheds a tackle, diving forward. He's going to get up to about the 25, but he's going to be shy of the first down. However, this is the maroon zone, and I have no doubt the Ramblers will go for this. 4th and about 3 now for McBain with 4.5 to go in the first. This is the maroon zone. Shotgun formation, trips to the right. Sealand rolling to his right, looking, stops, pumps, and now he's going to get hit and dropped from behind as Sealand did not see
I think
David Greenfield coming. We do have a flag on the near side of the field, out where the receivers and D-backs would have been. And the referee discussing it with his crew. Flag is right around the 20-yard line. With his crew. Flag is right around the 20-yard line. Referee now giving the signal. It is a hold against the Trojans.
Holding against the Trojans.
So this should be 10 yards from the spot. Or 10 yards. Referee now giving the signal. It is a hold. Well, isn't holding 10 yards from the spot of the foul?
It should be a spot foul. That's always when it is on the offense.
If that's the case, the Ramblers would be looking at first down just outside the 10. But they are marking this off from where Sealand went down. So apparently it is not, but it is still a first down for McBain as the mark-off will take it up to right about where the flag was thrown. Put the nose of the ball at about the 20-yard line. So a net of 5. The mark-off will take it up for the Ramblers. Sealand in the shotgun immediately follows Vandenbos around the right edge, gets a good block, and he will take it up just shy of the 10. He's going to be very close to a first down. I think it's going to be 2nd and short, as the referee quickly indicating
2nd down and 1 for the Ramblers.
2nd down, so mark it at the 11 with 3:45 to go in the first. Lake City leads 7-0. Quickly indicating 2nd down and 1 Second and 1. Sealand now in the pistol. 2 receivers split either way. Sealand to Vandenboss. Vandenboss straight up the middle, keeps 2 paws on that ball. Now we get a late flag from the back judge.
That's not good.
Number 35, Logan Vandenboss, the ball carrier.
It is a first down for the Ramblers, but we need to see what the flag is, and it is a hold on McBain. So this is going to come back. Lake City coaching staff with a finally. Apparently they've been seeing some things on the field. They would look for things differently than I imagine you would, right?
Well, yeah, especially at the left tackle. I haven't seen a left tackle hold his whole career.
Be a holding on the Ramblers.
So that'll take it back to the 20-yard line, so it negates the previous Sealand game. And it will be 2nd and 9 now for McBain. 3:25 to go here in the first. Is a nice drive that started at the 8:51 mark. McBain doing, if nothing else, keeping the Lake City offense off the field. Shotgun formation with Vandenboss in the backfield with him. Sealand wanted to set up a wide receiver screen, pulls it down. Now he'll flip it to Camphouse, who makes a nice catch at his shoulder and then falls forward back to the line of scrimmage. So an awful lot of movement, an awful lot of activity, and it's a net gain of nothing. But it is a completion for Gavin Sealand. 3rd and 11 now for the Ramblers. Excuse me, 3rd and 9. Need to get to the 10. But it is a completion for Gavin Sealand. 3 receivers now to the left for Sealand. Blitz coming. Sealand rolling to his left, tucks it. Looks like he wants to run the whole way, trying to get to the edge, and nothing doing as he is corralled and dropped. And I believe that is Matthew Holt. It is the Lake City quarterback riding him out of bounds.
They'll bring a 4th down and 7 for the Ramblers.
They'll mark this at the 18 or so.
Now on that play, what was interesting is they moved the left tackle, Drew Vanna, over to the right-hand side and went with an unbalanced line to kind of throw off the Lake City Trojans.
Trips to the right again. Sealand rolling right under pressure, and now he's going to be dropped. Sealand looking for somebody to throw to on 4th down is going to get dropped back at the 27-yard line. And the Lake City defense holds. And McBain will turn it over on downs. 2:27 remaining here in the first. The Ramblers chewed up Hawkeye over 6 minutes, but come up empty.
Yeah, it looks like what the Lake City's trying to do on the defensive end to slow down the McBain offense is just to overbalance the line and will come in with extra men.
Holt in the shotgun. And this is on the turf, and the Ramblers have it. Well, Hawkeye, you've talked about this before. There have been Rambler offenses in the past where there's an awful lot of putting the ball near the belly, and it's when you put it in the belly, that's when the running back takes the ball from him. That looked like a situation where Holt felt like he had put it there because he let go. The running back didn't feel like he had it, ends up on the turf.
Yeah, and that Owen Bonico, being Johnny on the spot right there, gets that recovery and gives McBain new life. Now the line needs to step up on this one and really start to push the issue.
23-yard line. And this is Auden Ealing putting a shoulder down and leveling one defender to pick up a few extra yards. He is over the 15 to about the 13-yard line. That's going to be very close to a first down.
One second down and 1 for the Ramblers.
He is over the 15 to about the 13-yard line. That's going to be very close to a first down. 2:15 remaining. Pistol formation now for McBain as they hurry up with the offense. This is Vandenboss straight up the middle. Vandenboss over the 10, and he's got a McBain first down. Give him the 8-yard line. So McBain just pretending that downs situation, the turnover on down situation, just didn't exist. They pick up where they left off.
And let's hope they continue this new trend.
Trips to the right for Sealand in the shotgun. He's got Camphouse, Ealing, and Verberkmos to his right. Sends Camphouse in motion going right to left. Sealand fakes the handoff, rolling to his right, and now he's going to get buried by a couple of tacklers. Sebastian Noren with some help from Thomas Bloomberg III, perhaps the most regal defensive lineman name you'll hear in the Highland Conference. But there was nothing regal about that tackle as he punishes Sealand in the backfield.
Yeah, once again, the defensive line getting their push on the McBain Ramblers. And I think McBain's going to have to start moving some people around on some traps or some pulls, or maybe reversing the field to counteract the push that Lake City's getting at this moment.
Second and goal now from the 17-yard line for McBain. Sealand in the shotgun, two receivers either way. Ethan Barton is lined up way to the left. Handoff. Nope, Healing. This is Sealand straight up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers. Gavin Sealand with a fantastic fake to Auden Ealing. Ealing drew a couple of white jerseys, and Sealand took advantage straight up the gut and into the end zone for the 17-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Drew Vanna on that one because he totally did not block the defensive end, and he totally fit on the fake handoff because his job was to miss the defensive end and hit that linebacker to open up a seam for Sealand up the middle. And I like to say my son's name.
Nothing wrong with that. Sealand on the two-point conversion attempt. Pass is intercepted by the Trojans. I want to give credit to the name. I think it was Zach Stockman. So with 1:03 remaining here in the opening quarter, the Ramblers answer, but their conversion is stopped and Lake City retains a 7-6 lead. I want to remind you that live streaming of McBain Rambler football brought to you by McLean Transmissions. For anything transmission related and for quality used cars, head on over to McLean Transmissions on LaChance Road between Cadillac and Lake City. Call 779-1394. That's 779-1394. You want to listen to us via the web anywhere in the world where you've got a solid internet connection, head on over to 107.9Wcdy.com and click the game logo over on the right-hand column. We have switched from Ustream and we now use YouTube. So I imagine you search for 107.9 CDY Sports on YouTube, you could find us that way as well. But we prefer you go to our homepage and find us like that. You should be visiting our homepage every day anyway, right, Hawkeye?
Yes, you should. It is the best homepage of local radio where they put everything local first, and they're out there supporting your community no matter where you're at.
George Brown III is about to kick off for the Ramblers, and he's got the ball on no tee, just sideways. This is the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. Has he always been doing this?
Yes, he started that last week.
And he will flop this forward, and it will be covered at the 40 by Ben Marion. And there is, it's very difficult, Hawkeye, to run back for a touchdown, a kickoff that really never leaves the ground, and you're within 5 yards of the opposition as they come rushing forward, which is exactly what Pat Maloney's evil plan is all along.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Kingsley had that big run back, and that is the biggest thing. His pet peeve is a big run back, and so he does whatever it takes not to give up. Big run back.
So the Trojans take over, 1:02 to go here in the first at their own 40-yard line. Holt takes the snap, immediately runs forward, makes one man miss, and is going to get twisted down to the ground after crossing the 45-yard line. Give him the, that's a nice spot, 47.
Matthew Holt, ball carrier, tackled by Logan Vanderboss. Second down and 3 for the Trojans.
Second and 3 coming up for McBain. Well, Harv Lucas may not be our PA announcer anymore, but the gentleman whose name I'll have to get here shortly,
Al Thomas.
Al Thomas, still very loud. Still hear him telling everybody what the down and distance is before I get a chance to do it.
He is actually a disciple of Harv Lucas and was in Harv Lucas's highlighters.
There you go.
3 years.
Thome with the handoff. Not much going there. He is stopped for a loss. Mark it back at about the 46-yard line. Say Al Thomas?
Al Thomas.
Number 75 going Monaco.
It's the same Al Thomas that covered a game for me at TC St. Francis. It is the same Al Thomas. I thought so.
And
that's why I recognize those dulcet tones. Whistle goes at the end of one quarter of play here in McBain. The Lake City Trojans lead the Ramblers 7-6. We'll be back. Second quarter action coming up right after this. One quarter of play here in McBain. The Lake City Trojans lead the Ramblers 7-6.
Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy. Plus, bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grid sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters. And the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain student athletes.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools offers a quality, well-rounded education for the whole child. McBain students have a technological head start from the beginning with their own issued MacBook or iPad. Rambler students are immersed in strong curriculum, including access to a large variety of vocational programs, a winning athletics program, and access to a new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Challenging competitive times require a challenging competitive education. Give your child the McBain advantage. McBain Rural Agricultural Schools. State-of-the-art performing arts center.
The harsh northern Michigan winter is right around the corner, and that's why you need to heat your house with Holton's LP Gas. Call them today at 231-839-4600. You can contact the office for specials today. And if you're a new customer, they have specials for you as well. Holton's LP Gas has been in Lake City for 30 years, and don't worry, they service the entire listening area. They've got 24/7 live, trained professionals. Holton's LP Gas is a proud sponsor of McBain Athletics. And don't worry.
Stop into High Point Auto and Truck Center in Cadillac for a great selection of new GMC and Cadillacs. High Point is your premier source for parts, services, tires, accessories, and new and certified used vehicles. We are your one-stop shop for every vehicle need that you may have. At High Point Auto and Truck, customer satisfaction is our goal. High quality, high standards, but low prices at High Point Cadillac GMC, located at exit 177 in Cadillac.
McBain High School, Jay Simon alongside Steve Preisel, who has taken Hawkeye's place temporarily. I'm going to assume, Steve, that it was a food-related issue down in the concession stand. Lake City with the ball here in the second quarter. We were having a little bit of technical difficulty. It is currently 1st and 10 from the 37 of McBain. Call it the second down now as Lake City takes that ball up to the 30, which means now I am way behind in my drive chart. So I'm just going to move it right up to here and say that we're in McBain territory. 10.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, 7-6. Lake City with the lead. So I'm just going to move it right up to here and say that we're in McBain territory. 10.5 minutes Holt to go here. Hands it off to Thome. Thome cutting. We've got two flags on the play. Thome up the left side, and Thome finally dragged down inside the 15-yard line, but there's a flag in the backfield. There's a flag on the line, and Steve, that is oftentimes holding.
Well, and number 10, last name Thom, is that how you say pronounce it?
Thome, I think we were going with, yeah.
Thome, he stuck with it. He got hit early on on the line there, but got out, but I think it's going to be coming back.
I believe it is. Clipping is the indication from our referee.
On the line there, but
at least that's what I always call it, is clipping.
I
believe it is. Clipping is the indication with two flags, so they'll mark it off spot foul from the worst one. That's a 15-yard variety, so it's going to send Lake City all the way back to the McBain 48-yard line, so that's a loss of 18 yards.
Bring up second down and 21
for Lake City. Second and 21. Hawkeye Steve calls that a city mile.
City mile.
It's not yet a country mile.
Well, let's see if Lake City keeps grinding it out here and pounding on the ground, or are they going to put some through the air?
Well, we know Holt's got a great arm, and they love to look for Benjamin Marion. He is lined up right now as the tight end on the near side, and he's going out to run. George Brown trying to chase Holt down in the backfield. Holt escapes, but then he is cut off and finally corralled right around midfield. Great job of pursuit. George Brown causing Holt to run for his life to the far sideline, and then he was finally chased down by Cade Brown, as well as, I believe, Noah Hendrickson. Al disagreeing with me, saying Logan Rodenbaugh. Of course, he's got a spotter. That's cheating.
Yeah.
I can't see.
In any event, there were 3 Ramblers that were flying after him.
That play was blown up, no doubt about that. George Brown getting into the backfield. So we'll mark it at the 49, loss of another yard. Call it 3rd and 22 now for Lake City. And the Ramblers were in this position before, Steve. They had the Trojans in a 3rd and long, and they found Marion up the sideline, and Marion will line up in the slot. 4 receivers. He's on the near side. Holt will roll this way toward Marion. Now he'll throw back against the grain for Thome, and that is over his head and off his hands and incomplete. So the Ramblers did a nice job, Steve, really, of not biting too much. Marion kind of the decoy on that play. Definitely drew a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But the far side of the defense staying home and doing their job.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's tough when everybody's so pumped up this early in the game, and they stayed home and they took care of that redirection.
Yeah, we talked about that pregame, and there's a lot of emotion in this game. These two schools separated by about 10 minutes, up 66.
Yeah.
Lake City will punt, and rolling to his left and getting off a nice one, but it's going to go right out of bounds. That was Taylor Butkovich on the punt.
And I don't know how much you guys have talked about this evening, but what an atmosphere. I mean,
absolutely. Please do.
I mean, it is just a wonderful atmosphere. You've got a lot of course, fans here from McBain, but Lake City traveled well. Of course, they made a strong run last year, and it's just great to see everybody out here and supporting Coach Smith and his family as well. So, yeah, this is just a great night.
Sizable crowds on both sides. Lake City's got the stands filled. They're standing all over the hill, and they're all along the fence line on the far side. It's basically a mirror image of what's on the McBain sideline. Here's a handoff, and we got a flag in the backfield. This is probably going to be against McBain. I'm watching the ball, but I think even I saw the hold, the block in the back. Logan Rodenbaugh on the carry. And it is a
hold, yeah.
Holding on the Ramblers.
Did he make the signal? He did. Okay.
Yeah, holding.
Quickly made the signal. I don't know if the Ramblers pleading their case, maybe. Not sure that's ever worked, Steve.
No, you know, it as a coach, I've never been on the football sideline, but on the basketball sideline, you think it helps, but you know,
all it does is make you feel better. Yeah, yeah. I coached volleyball for years. All it does is make you feel better. They're not changing their mind. So the 10-yard penalty on the spot foul will take the Ramblers back. Going to mark this at about the 11-yard line.
The first down and 17 for the Ramblers.
9:40 to go here in the second quarter. Ramblers going right to left. They send Ealing in motion. Ealing will get the handoff. Ealing trying to turn the corner and stumbles forward toward the 15-yard line. Somebody had a handful of jersey. Ealing tore away from him but lost his footing. And he'll get it up to about the 14.
And Lake City does a great job at getting up through the line. I mean, they got some good penetration, and that time our back just stuck with it, but they are in the backfield quite a bit.
As we mentioned, Harrison and Lakeview, their first 2 week opponents, probably not going to have the greatest of seasons, but still pitching 2 shutouts is nothing to sneeze at. Sealand on a keeper around the left edge. Sealand
Nice run.
Trying to knife his way through several white jerseys with a few green in the area as well. And Sealand will take it over the 20 to about the 23-yard line, and it's going to bring up third down now for McBain.
And Noah Thome.
You ready?
I think he's going to let you continue to do this as long as you want.
I love sports, and I've never been up here trying to be the color guy. And I know people out there listening, I am really trying. But it's tough because I got to be a little bit impartial, but I want to keep yelling for the Ramblers.
Well, it doesn't stop Hawkeye. Sealand on the keeper is going to stumble forward to about the 25, but he's going to be short. And so I think we're going to get our first look at this Rambler setup. It's going to be 4th and about 4. And the Ramblers using Sealand, I believe, as the punter. Is it Camphouse or Sealand as the punter?
Bam Bam.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hendrickson, that's right. So Bam Bam, the punter, and he punts in that rugby style.
Back to return for the Trojans, Austin Abbott.
But this time he's going to be in a little more of the traditional punt position, so seems unlikely that he'll try anything, and he's going to quick kick this short. It's going to take a nice bounce over the 40. Picked up by Devin Davis. Davis over the left edge and then gang tackled right around midfield. And we got a late flag coming in now.
Tackled by number 34, Logan Runball.
Let's see what this is. They're marking this ball right around the 48-yard line of McBain. I find the white hat. I did not see any extracurriculars afterward.
No. I don't know if they're looking at
It's a dead ball foul. It's a personal foul on Lake City. So this is going to set the Trojans back 15. So.
Well, I'm going to give it back to the expert here.
Well, Steve,
he's looking around right now. Who's the expert? But anyhow, enjoy the rest of the game. I'll come back up and visit whenever. But yeah, great venue here, and just wonderful to see all the people out here, and nice to see our Gavin Sealand back as well.
Absolutely.
So,
and he has looked good so far on offense. Steve Preisel, thanks very much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we'll get Hawkeye back on here. It'll be first down now for Lake City.
Officials timeout.
Officials are standing over the ball. 7:29 to go here in the second. Lake City with the ball now at their own 36 after the penalty. Holt in the shotgun. Steps underneath Brown, looking up the middle and overthrown, and a late flag comes in, and I think we're going to get a hold, Hawkeye, or they'll probably call it interference. Ball was in the air. Devin Davis, the intended receiver, and when I glanced into the area after the ball was thrown, it looked like somebody might have kind of caught his arm, and all you need is that sort of flail from the receiver, draw the attention of the official, and I think we're going to have a penalty.
And we're up to $700 on the 50-50.
Yeah, that was
So you're biting your tongue. Do you not agree?
No, I agree. It was a penalty. They grabbed the back of the shirt. They didn't want to let the receiver get behind them a second time, and they knew that there was a desperate move.
Actually had coverage over the top.
But the trailer defender didn't realize that.
So what it amounts to, Hawkeye, is it wipes out the 15-yard personal foul penalty, and we're right back where we were after the punt return. McBain 48-yard line, first down. And that is a nice job. Is that Camphouse that came flying in, batting down the attempted screen pass, leaping into the air? Bruce Copeman, no doubt, watching that and impressed with Camphouse's vertical.
I don't know if you guys realize this place is just jam-packed. I just went to the concession stand. I made sure that they had an extra $200 in ones to get through tonight, and they've already burned through that, and there's 7 minutes left in the second quarter. They've already sold over 300 hot dogs tonight.
Wow. Well, when Steve was on it, we were talking about, he was talking about the atmosphere. The crowd on both sides really mirror each other, lined up along the fence. And Holt is going to get run over, and that ball is incomplete, intended for Ryan Taliansky, and he nearly pulled it in. Holt, though, was buried. I want to say it was Vandenbos?
Yep.
Who came flying in. Holt launched that into the air, made a nice throw, and Vandenbos came down on top of him. So he paid for that throw, but Taliansky's not quite able to bring it in. And it'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Trojans. 7:12 remaining here in the second quarter. I want to apologize to our listeners. I feel like I've been remiss in giving down distance, time, and score. 7-6, the Trojans with the lead. Holt's going to step up the middle of the pocket, cuts up field, and he is over the 40-yard line. And he's going to have a Lake City first down. 7:05 to go here in the second. And Holt.
Tackled by Logan Rodenbach.
One little pump fake, Hawkeye.
First down, Trojan.
Got the defender off the ground, and then he blew by him. It looked like a 3-and-D wing pump faking and driving to the hole.
I'll tell you what, though, he had about a 7-yard gain, and then he had a great block by the back judge as he set him up as a downfield pick and then cut on the other side to screen off the Rambler tackler.
I'm always impressed with that. I'm always impressed with that. Ben Marion is your slot receiver, 2 receivers to either side for Holt, rolling to his right. Still rolling. Now he's going to stop and throw underneath, and boy, he was right on the line, but there is nobody in that area to determine if he was over. Hard to tell. We're right at midfield. This was inside the 40.
Second down.
He certainly approached the line of scrimmage. It was very close to the line of scrimmage, but completes the pass, and it is a first down for Lake City at the 27-yard line of McBain.
Did you see who caught the pass? Because that was Michael Cahoon. Who? Michael Cahoon. Who? He actually was on the McBain Ramblers football team last year.
Was he now? Did we trade him?
Yeah.
Holt now in the shotgun with 2 running backs either side. He's going to hand this off. And making his way, David Greenfield over the left side of the line. He'll cross the 25 and brought down at around the 22. Give him 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for Lake City. 6:14 to go.
Greenfield the ball here.
Here in the first half, it's 7-6 Lake City.
Owen Monaco, Noah Hendrickson, and Kate Brown.
Well, linebackers are doing a pretty good job, but the
2nd and 5 for the Trojans.
McBain's still getting, or Lake City's still getting 5 yards a carry. Sorry, Twister.
Shotgun situation again. Again, 2 backs in the backfield. This time hit immediately. Thought the ball might have come loose, did Owen Bonico, but Bonico meeting the running back, Greenfield, immediately. Greenfield this time, Hawkeye lined up on the left side of Holt and then took the handoff.
Yeah, that's great job by Owen Bonico to get the penetration in there.
Actually, a loss of a yard. Call it 3rd and 6 now. For the Trojans, 5:15 to go here in the first half, and another big 3rd down play. Really 2 plays coming up for McBain defensively. 1 receiver either way, 2 backs again with Holt. He'll give it to Greenfield. Nope, he'll fake it. Rolling to his left, throwing, looking for Marion, and that was well defended by Vandenbos. Got a paw up there, knocked it out of his hands, and then Marion nearly corralled that on his back, but was not able to bring it in. And it'll bring up 4th down now for Lake City at the 23 of McBain.
Yeah, it's time for the fist. What's the fist mean? 4th down. Defense is hoping to step up on this one. Going with the small, quick lineup by putting Cade Brown as your nose tackle. It's always kind of funny, he's your nose tackle, but if they drop back to punt formation, he's the guy that receives the punt. He's the punt returner, nose tackle. How'd you like that on your program?
Holt again with 2 running backs in the shotgun either side. Fakes the handoff, rolling to his left. Wants to throw a little pitch underneath for Marion. Marion makes the catch up the left sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. No flags on the play.
Number 86, Benjamin Marion.
Well, Holt sold that beautifully, Hawkeye, because he pump faked like he wanted to go deep, and then it was basically like a little flick forward, about a 6-yard pass to Marion. And Ben Marion does the rest up the left sideline. Nobody can bring him down. And the Trojans are up 13-6 with a Mika Schwab extra point attempt coming up. Good snap, good hold. And Schwab's extra point is good. And so with 4:51 to go here in the first half, the McBain Ramblers trail the Lake City Trojans 14-6 here at McBain High School. We'll take a 30-second break and be back right after this.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Aaron running things back in the studio. All right, I'll tell you her last name. Aaron Dusa, along with Zach Wiggins. Rich Spicer was in the house for a little while doing supervision, I think. Rich Spicer, man, those dulcet tones. Would you like to hear him call a game?
Oh, my goodness. I think
I'd melt.
That's it.
I think I'd melt.
You know, sometimes when I need a nice warm bath to relax, I just turn it on Rich Spicer. And
there you go. Kickoff from the Trojans is taken at around the 15-yard line, straight up the gut.
Tackled by number 64.
Was Cade Brown.
86, Benjamin Marion.
So the nose tackle with a big run back. And the Ramblers will take over at their own 35-yard line, trailing 13-6 or 14-6. Four and 43 to go here in the first half. Handoff. Rodenbaugh cuts through, but he will stumble and fall at around midfield. Boy, he had a lot of green in front of him, and I don't mean jerseys. He was off to the races, but they got just enough of him. They will mark the ball at midfield, but it is a big McBain first down.
First down and 10, Ramblers.
And this is on an Ealing around the right edge. Ealing running over a man. We got a flag in the backfield. There's absolutely nobody near that flag. I don't know what that might be.
I think that's going to be a block on the back on the Ramblers. As one of the linemen was trailing the play to try and get some extra space, picked the Trojan up and wanted to nail him in the back.
Well, who doesn't?
And it's a holding, actually.
Holding on the Ramblers.
So the holding call
on the wide receiver, downfield blocking.
Well, do you give the receiver credit for actually downfield blocking, or do you yell at him for holding?
10 yards from the spot.
Hey, I tell you what, I really appreciate these officiators because they double check their work. 2 of them marked off 10 yards to make sure they ended at the exact same spot.
Well, what's interesting about that, because it was a spot foul and because Ealing got out near the 40-yard line, it ends up being a net 0, the loss of down. Actually, it's not even, is it a loss of down?
No, it's nothing.
It's not a loss of down, so it's like the play never happened. First and 10 again from midfield for the Ramblers. Trips to the right. Seelan trying to hand it off, and I think Lake City's got it.
Fumble on the play.
That was an impressive job
Number 32
by the Trojans. David Greenfield, Hawkeye, completely blew that play up as he was in the backfield as Sealand was trying to fake the handoff, and they didn't know what to do. Put it on the turf. Ramblers with the turnover.
Yeah, what happened there is you had the left tackle for McBain going for a downfield block on the linebacker, and there was supposed to be a guard that pulled across to clean up the end that the tackle just left alone, and the pull did not get there, and he had a free run at the backfield.
4:07 to go here in the first half. Trojans with the ball now. Holt rolling to his right. Looking wide open is Marion. And on the near sideline, Marion takes a jab step back inside and will be brought down. There's 2 flags on the play back at the line of scrimmage, however.
Yeah, they finally figured out how to stop the rush from Owen Bonico by putting your hand in the back of his shoulder pad and hold him from behind.
Oh, nobody will catch that.
No.
Oops, 2 people caught that,
yeah.
apparently.
Was it that obvious?
So that is going to hurt as Lake City will all the way back to their own 40-yard line.
First down and 23.
And it'll be first and a city mile. Or is it a country mile over 20? I can never remember.
That's a country mile. I think we're just going to ditch that whole city a mile idea.
Yeah, it's probably true. First and 23 for the Trojans, and we are going to get a McBain timeout. So with 3:43 to go, Lake City with a 14-6 lead. We've got timeout on the field. We'll take a break and be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to McBain Rambler Football on 107.9 CDY.
Kelly's Pizza and Grill in McBain would like to take this opportunity to thank their loyal customers for all their years of support. It's with your patronage that Kelly's Pizza and Grill can continue to support local schools, churches, and charities, not to mention keep serving up great tasting breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Open 6 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 6 till 10. Always doing their best to serve the McBain community, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, 100 Maple Street in the heart of McBain.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
3:43 remaining in the first half here at McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matthew Holt, the Lake City quarterback, under pressure, escapes, rolling to his left, and then bams him to the turf, catching up with him at the line of scrimmage. So Holt manages to avoid a loss, but it's going to bring up second and 23 here in the first half. 14-6 lead
Second down and 22.
for the Lake City Trojans. They have the ball going left to right, but a holding penalty has set them back into their own territory. This drive started at the McBain 48 and immediately went backward. 3:02 and ticking to go here in the first half. Ben Marion lined up in the slot near side. Two receivers either way for Holt in the shotgun with Greenfield in the backfield. And there's the snap. Went right past Greenfield, who runs into the back of the end and picks it up into the backfield. And he will get back to about the 30. It's actually quite impressive considering that the floodgates opened. The Ramblers, Hawkeye didn't even realize the ball got snapped.
Well, that's okay. They realized it before Lake City realized it was snapped, which was the craziest thing.
Yes.
On that one.
So a 10-yard loss. Lake City's offense heading in the wrong direction.
You know what? They should be happy that's all they lost.
3rd and 32 for Lake City now.
Third down and 32 for the Trojans on the 30-yard.
With 2:05 to go, and the Trojans might be happy to just get into the locker room with this lead, the way the offense has been going on this drive. Holt back to pass, pump fake, throws, a little bit wounded, duck underneath, and that's going to skip over Verberkmos, short of Caden McGillis. And between the two intended targets, he had Ben Marion in the area, he had Devin Davis in the area, but it's going to bring up 4th and 32 now with 1:49 to go. The good news for McBain, Hawkeye, is the clock stopped, and if they can get some sort of run back, might be able to put some points on the board before halftime. You're listening to WCDY, McBain, Cadillac, Lake City. 1:49 remaining here in the first half. Rolling to his left, partially blocked. And this is going to go out of bounds at around the 45-yard line of Lake City. So McBain now is going to be set up very nicely. Call it the 44. And an opportunity to put something positive together going into halftime here, Hawkeye.
Yeah, McBain has a golden opportunity with the short field here and enough time for them to get to the end zone and see what they can pull off.
Ramblers going right to left. Trips to the left for Gavin Sealand. For Burkmos, the lone receiver to the right. Sealand out of the shotgun, rolling to his left. Wants to throw underneath, and Will gets it off. And is fortunate enough to save the yards. Pushed down by Bradley Burton, who chased him out of what he wanted to do there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the blocking assignment was on that, because the left tackle just did a little rush block, and the running back, I guess, is supposed to pick him up. And Gavin outran the running back on the rollout, so the defensive tackle didn't have to get in the middle where he was going to run into some traffic.
Sealand, Rodenbaugh hit and knocked out of his hands. David Greenfield again, Hawkeye, with deep penetration. Caught Rodenbaugh and just punched that right out of his hands, and the Trojans will get it back with 1:33 to go.
Yeah, once again, that's a read option type of play where the quarterback is supposed to read what the defensive end is doing. If the defensive end is setting up on the sweep, the quarterback's supposed to keep it. Otherwise, the quarterback is supposed to go. The thing is about that is you have to go quick enough to make that read. If the defensive end can get back where he's got both guys covered, which he did on that play, there is really no decision on that one.
Yeah, not much you can do when there's a white jersey sitting in your lap as you're trying to make that decision. So now Lake City will see what they can do. Two receivers split either way for Holt. Immediate quarterback draw. Holt straight ahead over the 45 and brought down at about the 44-yard line.
Tackled by Cade Brown and Justin Camphouse.
I always find spots interesting. The high school, it's a very difficult and imprecise science. The point is that when a knee or elbow or butt touches the ground, where the ball is where the ball is supposed to be marked. I don't know how anybody can do that job.
Yeah, that is a best guess situation.
Absolutely. Holt back to pass. Camphouse coming from the right and now up the middle and dragged down. That was the big nose tackle, Cade Brown, coming through the middle. Camphouse was putting pressure from the right side. Holt tried to get away and he ran right into Cade Brown. And now Lake City wants to take a timeout. 49.6 seconds remaining here in the first half. We'll keep it right here. Don't forget, stick around. The halftime show brought to you by the fine folks at McBain Hardware will be coming up. We'll have stats and analysis. Hawkeye, the official statistician of McBain football. He's got the iPad of doom, and he'll be able to tell us all kinds of interesting things. We also want to make sure that we thank the many supporters of these broadcasts. We literally couldn't do it without them, folks. Hawkeye and I might try to do it without them, but it wouldn't be over the terrific airwaves that you're hearing here on 107.9 CDY. And we want to make sure we thank McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, Wexford Missaukee Career Tech Center, the Falmouth Co-op, Holton's LP Gas, High Flow Performance, Amp Wireless, Pluger Mechanical, LC Materials, McBain Auto Service, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, McBain Family Pharmacy, Crandall Precision, and Kelly's Pizza and Grill. We are eternally grateful that they allow us to bring you these contests here from McBain. Out of the timeout, shotgun, two receivers either way. Holt steps up into the pocket, wants to throw up the left side, two defenders in the way, and nearly coming up with it, I believe, is Auden Ealing. The pass was intended for Davis, but Verberkmos and Ealing were both in the area. For Burkmos and Ealing are looking up at Al Thomas going, why did you give credit to Caden McGillis? McGillis was out there, just not that side of the field, I don't think.
Well, you know, it looks like Lake City still feels they could take the top off the McBain Rambler defense. And here's something that Isaac Hope has called. You look for who the punter is. If you see Thome go back there to punt, it's going to be a run play or a fake punt.
Well, they're not faking anything here. We got a flag on the play before the play even started.
12 men in the huddle.
There was a late, Trojan ran off the field late. This is true. So this will go against the Trojans, and it will set them back 40 seconds remaining here in the first half.
After a 5-yard penalty, it'll be 4th down and 20 for the Trojans.
4th and 20 now for the Lake City Trojans. 40 seconds remaining. They have a 14-6 lead here in the first half at McBain High School. And it looks like they're going to see if they can't come up with something that will give them some yards. And now we're going to get an official timeout.
Timeout, officials.
You can tell, by the way, Hawkeye, that Al definitely has Harv's blessing because he's got Harv's headset, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's
the magic
into him.
That's the magic Harv headset, so it's a big deal.
Wow. You know, when Harv retired, he really didn't have much use for it.
Yeah, but still.
Yes, I know.
All right, we've got it figured out. 4th down now. Holt rolling to his right. Under pressure. Slings up a wounded duck. Plenty of Ramblers in the way, and that's not what you want anyway. Goes through the hands of the Ramblers, but it was 4th down. You don't want to intercept that ball. You want the ball, unless you think you've got all kinds of room to run.
No.
You want it where it is. And so McBain will get it back with 33 seconds remaining at the Lake City 40-yard line. And if we don't get Garrett Verberkmos with 3 straight 40-yard sprints to the end zone, I'll be stunned. You can't tell me he hasn't run back-to-back 40s in practice.
I agree with you on this, but the thing is you got to give Sealand enough time for him to get 40 yards down the field.
All he's got to do is start really high. Sealand in the shotgun, Ealing in motion, and Sealand wanted to run this straight ahead, and he's immedially dropped. And now the Ramblers will be forced to call their second timeout. Got back to about the 39-yard line. And McBain calls a timeout. 27.4 seconds remaining. Well, as mentioned, Hawkeye, we've got the Everett Wildcats on the road next week as McBain hits the road for the first time. It's a weird schedule this year as the Ramblers have 6 home contests. They are on the road for just 3. They go to Everett, Beale City, and Lakeview, and they are home for the other 6. A 1-1 start against Kingsley and Morley Stanwood. Not too bad, non-conference. You want to get at least 1 win in those first 2 games. And we talked about what their playoff chances were like. I think if you had looked at the schedule, this was not a game you necessarily put in the win column on paper. But, hey, 14-6 at halftime against a team that's beaten 2 others 41 and 48-0. Not too shabby.
Yeah, but you don't want to say, hey, we put points against this team. You want a different type of victory.
Absolutely. Sealand back to pass. Launching, looking for Verberkmos, slightly underthrown, and Verberkmos didn't come back for it. It is intercepted by Ryan Taliansky. And so Lake City will get it back. Our 3rd turnover and 4th if you count on downs in this second quarter.
Yeah, you know, I would like to see McBain be able to have one more chance, but
1st down and 10 Trojans.
It was a desperation heave as it was. And he tried to put it all the way down to the goal line.
It's a tough throw. Tough throw with white jerseys in your face. And Verberkmos, I think if Verberkmos had realized it was underthrown a little earlier, he might have had a chance to battle Taliansky for that ball. But Holt's going to run this straight ahead, try to pick up yards on his own as he is wrapped up. Bonico gets him by the ankles and brings him down at around the 12-yard line, and I would expect that will be the final play of the first half, and it will. 2 quarters in the books here at McBain High School. The Lake City Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers 14-6. We'll be back with some first half thoughts, stats, and analysis. Don't go anywhere. The McBain Hardware Halftime Show coming up here on 107.9 CDY. Back after this.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729. In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
Crandall Precision is your start-to-finish custom machine shop specializing in custom machine components and repair work with no minimum quantity limit. Need a special part you're having a hard time finding? Bring it to Crandall Precision and see what they can do for you. Crandall Precision has been offering fast, high-quality work for over 35 years, and they are committed to continuing that for years to come. Call Crandall Precision at 231-775-7101. That's 231-775-7101. Or you can reach them by email at crandallprecision@gmail.com. Crandall Precision, high-quality custom machine parts for any project, big or small. Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy, plus bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grid sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters. And the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain student athletes.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Aaron turning the dials for us back in the studio. Flying solo, Aaron Dusa is just her third game. And Ryan who? We've completely forgotten about him. We're at halftime here in McBain. The Lake City Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers 14-6. The McBain High School Marching Band entertaining the crowd and doing a fine job of it. The world's most adorable piccolo player right up front in front of drum major Mason Brown, as well as the world's greatest tuba player. In case nobody gets that joke, yes, it's my daughter who plays the piccolo and it's Gary's son who plays the tuba. We might as well just admit to our biases. Gary has had to go do his duties as the master of concessions here in McBain. It is a packed house, and there are more people here than we've had in quite a while here in McBain. The Lake City Trojan fans travel well, and they definitely travel well when they want to support their head coach and his family and these young men who had such a great season last year. So many of those kids are back this year. Lake City's always supported their fans, their teams well, as has McBain, but they are out in force tonight, and the concession stand is buried. There are fans lined up on the fence on both sides of the field, and it's been a great atmosphere here tonight. As mentioned, 14-6, the Trojans with the lead. My News 26 is here doing the game. You can watch that about an hour after this game ends. Head over to mynews26.com or tune in to My News 26. You can catch that over the air, and you can watch this game later on if you'd like as well. And I apparently delayed long enough that Hawkeye is back and can give you these statistics from the first half. And it's a good thing because you didn't give me the password to the iPad of Doom.
Well, I would, but then I kill you.
Right. Yes, of course you would.
All right. So McBain Ramblers so far. Gavin Seelan, 5 for 8 with 48 yards passing. And we have Justin Camphouse with 0 for 1 on a trickeration on the first play. Garrett Verberkmos only has 1 reception for 14 yards. Logan Rodenbaugh has another reception for 11 yards. And then we have Justin Camphouse with a reception for 0 yards. Rushing is being led by Gavin Seelan. Sorry, I've decided I have too many hats. I'm sorry, I'm going to digress here, but I can't wait for a road game.
When you don't have to worry about all that stuff? Yeah, that's the problem this year. 6 home games. It's nuts.
But the thing is this crowd is so huge, and they came out to support this game. I don't know. I don't think I've seen a crowd this big before, ever, for a McBain game. And I know that we are just selling out of everything in the concession stand. They're stressed there. They're trying to do 50-50 tickets. It's just an amazing, fun, exhausting night.
Absolutely.
So
I don't want to hear your excuses.
All right, then let me give you the biggest stat of the game that's really is why you're looking at a different score here. McBain, 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Lake City, 1 turnover. When 4 of your drives end by gifting the ball to the other team, and my memory's not as good as yours, but I know the first turnover led to a Lake City score. I cannot remember if the second fumble led to the Lake City score.
The first interception led to a score.
Yes.
And then the Lake City fumble led to a McBain score. And then only because they got it right back in Lake City territory largely. But no, Lake City's other score came after a punt. So McBain's defense has actually really done a nice job of picking up the offense by preventing Lake City from capitalizing on these turnovers.
Yeah, and this has to give McBain a little bit of a hope because they've really closed the gap in one season between these two teams. And right now, if I'm in the locker room, Coach Bonaco's, I would expect him to step up and basically challenge each one of the linemen, defense and offense, that's where the battle is going to be won for the second half. And Lake City's won that battle so far, but they have yet to win the war since we still have another half left. And if this game's going to turn around, they got to protect the ball and start winning the line of scrimmage.
14-6 our score here at halftime. I've been corrected, by the way, Hawkeye.
Not by me.
No, while you were off concessioning. Is that a word? Did I just make that up?
No. Yes.
You're the master of concessions, I told everybody. That's what I'm running with. Anyway, our engineer back in the studio, Erin, this is not her third game it's her third game of the season, but it's not the third game of her career. She has been with Up North Radio LLC for a year. She has trained previously, and she has worked games under the close supervision of Ryan Rose. I guess what I wanted to make sure I pointed out was that we don't need no stinking Ryan Rose now because Aaron is flying solo and doing a great job. We've had some technical difficulties back in the studio. I want to make sure I point out none of those technical difficulties were Aaron's fault. They were other people's faults.
Not only is it not Aaron's fault,
and she fixed it,
but we're still on the air because of her.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So has she gone up from just Aaron to nickname status?
I haven't come up with one yet. I leave the nicknames to you, so.
Because she kind of uses a little bit of a magic type of thing. I'm thinking Bewitched.
Ooh. What was the name of, should we just call her Sam? Samantha? Yeah, we'll have to noodle that for a little while.
What was the other show about the good witch? That's Sabrina.
Ooh.
Sabrina, the teenage witch, which I don't know if she is a teenage witch, which is what I want to do when I have a sandwich, and which is going to have to talk. All right.
You can just talk yourself into food. Whoops.
That's not a long conversation for me.
It's not.
So we got the band doing. This is going to be an interesting second half. I think Lake City is a little shocked about what they're seeing out here because they're really being tested today.
Well, if there's one thing that a Pat Maloney coach team has shown over his 4 seasons here in McBain, they're physical and they play hard. And even if they're outmatched from a talent standpoint, sometimes there's no quit in them. And when you're playing your rival to the north on such an emotional night, things are amped up, and we've seen that to a certain extent. The two interceptions, I wouldn't blame the 2 interceptions on anything. I mean, the one was essentially a Hail Mary, the other just an underthrown ball because of pressure. The fumbles are the two that, if I'm Pat Maloney, I'm probably a little more concerned about, simply because that's kind of the bread and butter of your offense, is that fake, those decisions, that run pass option type play, and that's what I think he's probably most worried about trying to clean up.
I would agree with you on that one. That's got to be, ball protection really is what's going to have to be done by them. But like you said, you got to win the battle in the trenches. Each one of those interceptions, you talk about pressure, rush throws.
Right.
Win the battle in the trenches, what are you looking at that point? So that's where the trenches are.
Over on our sister station, 107.1 The Drive, the Manton Rangers are playing host to the Beale City Aggies. Tough way to open the Highland Conference. Of course, the Aggies come into this contest, Hawkeye, 0-2. Manton is 2-0, so that's an interesting matchup. You can catch that one over on 107.1 The Drive, should you be interested. And if I can get Aaron to yell over to Zach, who is also running solo, running the board for that broadcast, and get him to shout out a score, we'll give you an update, as she can give that to us in the chat. 3.5 minutes remaining. Of course, that's not really 3.5 minutes. That's 3.5 minutes to the mysterious 3 minutes they always add at the end of the 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time. Lake City, Hawkeye, I wanted to point out to you, see what you thought. Interestingly, did not leave the field. They are over in the corner, the north corner
where are they going to go?
Field.
Onto the bus?
I have no idea. That usually teams do leave the field. They usually go somewhere else.
Well,
don't they? Even the visiting team? I mean, McBain's not out on the field right now.
There's a shed over on the end of the track to our west, or left, which is going to be the north, and that's where there's a locker room for the McBain varsity football team. There is no guest locker room out here. If they want to do a guest locker room, they actually have to go all the way back to the high school.
Yeah.
Or they go on the bus, but after you play, do you want to sit in those cramped small seats full equipment?
No. Clearly you do not. Well, Aaron was successful in getting me a score, Hawkeye.
Oh, what'd she get?
Manton 14, Beale City 14 at the half in Manton over on 107.1 The Drive. So kudos to the Rangers hanging with the Aggies through the first half of that one.
I have a sneaky suspicion the Rangers are better than we gave them credit for at the beginning of the season.
You might be right. You might be right.
I didn't know the difference that the new head coach, Solani, was going to make. I know that he played at CMU back with actually Doug Bonicle, Mark Bonicle's older brother. He played CMU together, so I know that he has a college experience, and he seems to be having some things going right for them over there. So
yeah, absolutely. This is the McBain Hardware halftime show here at McBain High School.
I got the Pizza Plus Cadillac score update.
Hey!
Petoskey 21, Cadillac 7 in the third.
And that is a battle of two 0-2 teams looking to right their ships as well. Cadillac has played well, a couple of heartbreaking losses for the Vikings. Lost by a point last week on the road at Bay City John Glenn. And they have been the opposite of the Ramblers, road warriors. They get Alpena at home, I believe, next week. And that'll be their first home game.
Yeah, it's tough to play 3 games in a row on the road. And you got to give them some credit. It'd be nice. They might come home with the victory on that one. I don't know. We'll root for the hometown Vikings to come back in the second half of this. So, little update here. I guess the E. coli in Harper, as this night has also been dedicated to Harper Smith, Coach Smith's daughter. And the hashtag Harper Strong is all over Lake City and into the McBain area. And I don't know, my wife says she hates the tragedy, but she loves anything that can bring a community together.
Yeah.
And this is really have done so. So anyways, the E. coli went septic. They actually had to cut open her stomach and leave it open and put her in a induced coma.
Goodness.
For 2 weeks because of the disease and the way it was affecting it. This past week, they were finally able to close that up and take off the breathing tubes. But they've yet to hear Harper talk since this all started, because right now they're really encouraging her not to say anything because they need all that stuff to heal in her throat.
Yeah.
But she's breathing on her own. They're starting to pull some of the mechanical things that they needed to keep her alive off. She's still having some digestive problems of keeping some food down. They're optimistic, cautiously optimistic that they're expecting a full recovery of Harper. Now there's another one, Northland, that they talked about, Quist in the McBain area, who also got an E. coli infection, and it was not as serious as Harper. And that one's still in the prayers and the thoughts of these two communities.
Yep, it is oftentimes easy to forget that it's just a game. These are just young men who have school and lives and responsibilities and other things that are far more important than this after they leave the field. And all you want from them is to play hard, enjoy themselves, be competitive, and walk off this field friends, because there are bigger and more important things in life than a simple game, and certainly more than broadcasting a simple game. We enjoy doing this tremendously, but seeing this many fans here in support of the Smiths, and I was going to say, is that the Quints? Quist, thank you. The Quist families is a terrific thing.
Yes.
Minute 21 left in the half. Want to, again, make sure that we thank the sponsors that allow us to bring you this broadcast. We talked about it in the first half. Again, literally couldn't do it without them. If you get an opportunity to stop in and say hi to these businesses, let them know you heard them here on 107.9 CDY, and thank them for their support of McBain Rambler Athletics. They include McNally's Party Store, LC Materials, McBain Auto Service, Amp Wireless and Pluger Mechanical, High Flow Performance, Holton's LP Gas, Falmouth Co-op, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Crandall Precision, McBain Family Pharmacy, the Burkholder Family Funeral Home, and McBain Rural Agricultural School. As McBain is now back on the field, players trying to get loose, trying to get warmed up. It's a little crispier out there now, Hawkeye. What, do you think it dropped into the 50s or so right now?
I'm still sweating.
That's you.
That's true.
That's you.
Hey,
I'm sure those kids are too, but it has definitely cooled off.
I just want to let you know that the McBain Ramblers #3 best fan, Terry Hunniga, just sent me a text saying, "Bewitched, you're really dating yourself now, Vanna."
Yeah, the best part about that is Erin has absolutely no idea what we're talking about when we reference Bewitched. She's going to try YouTubing it, and it's probably not there. 20-14 Manton now in the third quarter. Update from 107.1 The Drive. So the Rangers have taken a lead on the Aggies. Here, it is 14-6. Lake City with the lead over McBain. Lake City will receive the second half kickoff. George Brown has his football laying on its side at the 40-yard line. And he is just about ready to put boot to ball. And the third quarter is underway. This will slide and be picked up at the 35, and then ridden to the ground is Taylor Butkovich, tackled
Jacob Bovin.
By Jacob Bovin.
I just want to say that before Al did.
You did beat him to the punch.
First down and 10 for the Trojans. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
40-yard line of Lake City is where they will start their first possession of the second half, and we'll see if either or both of these offenses can shake off the doldrums they had for most of that first half. Ben Marion in motion. Holt is going to keep it and pitch it back to Marion. Ball's on the turf, bouncing around.
Fight for it.
And there is a fight for it. Usually they don't let them battle for it. They'll give it up to whoever they felt had it first, and I think the Trojans collected it, and they did. Devin Davis getting back
the Trojans.
and picking it up, but it is going to take them all the way back to the 27-yard line. It's a loss of 13. That was really no pressure on that. I think Ben might have just taken his eye off of it. And the Trojans fortunate to retain it. 11:20 to go here early in the third quarter. 14-6 Lake City, looking at 2nd and 23 now. Holt rolling to his right, under pressure, throws underneath, and almost brought in was Ben Marion. As the ball hit him in the hands, and he was immediately drilled by Dan Rodenbaugh. Daniel Rodenbaugh making a big hit, and Marion almost pulled it back in, which would have been highly impressive. But instead, we are looking at 3rd down now and 23. Crushing hit from Rodenbaugh. And textbook, kept his head up.
Yeah, what I am amazed by is Ben Marion as a receiver and the concentration while he's getting blown up, still the ball awareness where that ball is, and still coming close to pulling a catch that most players would be in the fetal position.
Holt wants a long one and overthrowing Tawiansky as in coverage was, I want to say Ealing, can't tell his number. His kids refuse to show me their number.
4th down and 20.
Yeah, Ealing's in coverage playing cornerback on the far side.
Thank you. So with 11 minutes to go here in the third. 4th and 23 now for Lake City. And back to punt.
2 punters, so if it goes to Thome, expect to run. Oh, no.
It goes to Thome, and Thome will send a low screamer that will take a Lake City bounce and be down at the 30-yard line. So McBain will take over after forcing the punt. So the defense answers the call. That's always the one you're worried about when the team in the lead gets the ball to start the second half. Always a little nerve-wracking and sketchy. I had that microphone turned off. I turned it back on. There's quite a few folks sitting right beneath us, and I'm wary about picking up whatever they're talking about.
There's quite a few folks everywhere.
Truth. 2 receivers split either way for Gavin Seeland in the backfield with Vandenboss. Seeland will give it to Vandenboss. Vandenboss cuts up field over the 35, stumbling forward to the 36-yard line, gain of 6. And it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Trojans.
How about for the Ramblers?
For the Ramblers, thank you, sir.
Hey, I want to let you know that Logan Vandenboss only has one move, and that's to run someone over.
2nd down and 4 for the Ramblers.
Rodenbaugh in motion. Gavin Seeland runs into his own lineman, bounces off him, crosses the 45, and he'll get out to the 48-yard line. Big first down. Gavin Seeland. I don't think he saw his lineman as he tried to cut. You know, you're not looking for a green jersey, you're looking for white jerseys. And Seeland cracked his helmet on the back of the lineman's helmet, bounced off of him, and then kept going.
First down, Ramblers.
But it is a first down for McBain at the 48-yard line. Ealing in motion and drilled in the backfield. Great job by Thomas Blumberg III, bursting through and wrapping up Ealing, who took the handoff in motion. Ramblers going right to left here in the second half. So we get inside 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Coach Maloney calling out the play and the signals to the Ramblers, who will look at those wrist cheater things. I'd need like 2 forearms full of them. Seeland in the backfield, wants to throw underneath, has a man open. That is Verberkmos, and Verberkmos will curl out of bounds in Lake City territory at about the 47-yard line.
Tell you what, those little things on the wristbands were just freshly minted no more than 3 hours ago as they were in my classroom office laminating those little things. Yeah.
New plays?
They changed what the signs mean.
Gotcha.
Every couple of weeks so that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
People that take the videotape will not know what they're calling for.
It's fair. Sealing in the pistol, kind of hands up to Coach Maloney like he doesn't know what's going on. The snap is high. The snap from the pistol went high through the hands of Sealand, Hawkeye, and ended up in the hands of Logan Rodenbaugh, who had just come around back to make sort of an I formation look. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it looked like pistol formation, punt snap. Logan Rodenbaugh looked like he was running the wrong play, but luckily he did because he was there to get the tipped snap from McBain.
Number 44, Noah Hendrickson. Back to return for the Trojans, number 1, Devin Davis.
Ball marked at the 42-yard line. It'll 4th down and 16 to go now. Hendrickson back to punt for McBain. And Hendrickson gets off a beauty high punt, not very long, but it will take a McBain bounce and check up inside the 35 at the 34-yard line, and that's where Lake City will take over.
Will be down on the 34-yard line. First down and 10.
A lot of hang time for Bam Bam on that one. 8:30 to go here in the third quarter.
You know, I was just thinking with that type of action on the ball, when you put it that high in the air and that short, you do run a decent chance of actually hitting
a Trojan.
Yeah. Because there's no one going to be able to spin their head around and then find it up in the air.
No, that's a difficult thing to do in that situation. Holt will hand it off to Greenfield. Greenfield tripped up right away. Give him the 35. We'll give him the 36. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
2nd down and 8 for Trojans.
For Lake City.
Justin Camphouse did a great job crashing the hole on that one and picking him up for a very, very short gain. I want to let you know that Mr. McBain is stealing your line about thanking the sponsors over there. Yeah. Ferdine stealing your line.
Lars Ferdine doing color analysis for My News 26. Make sure you check that out an hour after this game ends. So the pitch to Thome. Thome with room to run and some blocking on the left side, leaping over one defender over the 45-yard line and driven out of bounds shy of midfield. Give him the 48-yard line. It's a 12-yard pickup, and it is a first down for the Trojans. Thome had the escort of his life over there on the left side as some of those big boys on the line getting out and giving him some room to run. 7:45 to go here in the third quarter. Lake City leads it 14-6. Our last report, 22-20. Beale City now leads Manton in the second half at Manton over on 107.1 The Drive.
Unbalanced line this way for the Trojans.
And are we getting a timeout? The Trojans were confused. McBain wanted to call a timeout, but Lake City called it first. So we'll get a timeout on the field. Trojans 1st and 10 at their own 48. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be back right after this.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
14-6, Lake City leads McBain here at McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye, Vanna, Aaron, Dusa. I hope I pronounced that right. Dusa. Sabrina the Teenage Witch running the dials for us back in the studio. She's going to hate us for that one.
Sabrina,
we may have to
the Sweet Witch.
Sabrina the Sweet Witch? I don't know.
Okay.
It's another food-related thing. Out of the timeout, the handoff is to Thome, and Thome, sprinting to the right side, is finally chased down. Nice open field tackle by Vandenbos.
It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Trojans.
Which is even more impressive considering Thome's about half Vandenbos' size, and Vandenbos still ran him down. Which gives us a 2nd and 2 for Lake City. at the McBain 43-yard line. 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Shotgun for Holt. Got Thome in the backfield with him. We got a flag on the play near sideline. And oh, my goodness gracious. Owen Bonico lowering the boom on Matthew Holt. Flag came out after the play started, so it couldn't have been motion on the Trojans. Oh, it is motion on the Trojans. Doesn't that usually kill the penalty?
On the Trojans.
Not when it's...
Or doesn't it usually kill the play? I mean, you can't false start unless you're doing it before the play starts. Doesn't that usually kill the penalty?
Right.
Not when it, or doesn't it usually kill
They
the play?
just chose not to whistle that one dead. I mean,
You can't false
we've
start
seen that in high
unless you're
school
doing it
sports
before
too
the play
because the
starts.
motion is so close to the snap.
Yeah.
The refs are actually taught to let the play develop for more of a safety set because they knew that if they blew a whistle at half stop and the other half are, they're now actually saying still exploding because it's such bang bang.
Right. That makes some sense.
It's safer to let the play run and then start it all over. Still exploding because it's such bang bang.
Discussion
It's safer
going on. We will go back 5 yards. Lake City went back all the way back to their 40 to huddle up. Going on.
Second down and 7 for the Trojans.
Takes them back to the 48-yard line, and it's 2nd and 7 now for Lake City. 6:50 and ticking to go here in the third quarter. One receiver split either way. Ben Marion is the tight end. He's on the line. He's out to receive, and he's got the pass. Caught. And he was stretching for the first down. It almost looked like he was going to drop the ball, but he was stretching for the first down, and it's going to be very close. As good field awareness by Ben Marion, Hawkeye, to, as he went down, put that ball out. And now we're going to get an official timeout as they measure. Brought down and marked right around the 42, which is where they needed to get.
I'm thinking first down.
I am too. 6:29 remaining on the clock here in the third quarter. Again, our thanks to McBain Hardware for their sponsorship of our halftime show, as well as Northern Truck Service, our pregame sponsor. Sincere thanks to each and every one of our sponsors as Hawkeye, living up to his name and realizing that ball was clearly over the first down line. It was beyond the green zone. Hawkeye, did you watch Thursday Night Football last night on NBC?
Very little of it, but yes, I did.
See that new green zone thing? I guess the yellow line wasn't enough. Now we have a green zone?
Yep.
It makes no sense.
Very little of it. I think they got a lot of criticism on it.
I think they did too. Two backs in the backfield. This is, I think, Greenfield. And gang tackled by the Ramblers after the handoff. And it was Greenfield.
He had a good head of steam, and then he ran into Louis, Logan Vanderboss, and he just stopped.
Tackled by number 35, Logan Vanderboss.
Got back to the line of scrimmage.
And then he got down low, and he looked like he was trying to push his shoulder, and it looked like he was thinking that he could push a wall. So he's so low, and the wall did not move.
Got back to the line of scrimmage. 5:45 to go.
Thinking that he could push a wall. So he's so low, and the wall did not move.
Here in the third quarter, 2nd and 9 for the Ramblers. Give them a yard, I guess we'll call it. Or for the Trojans, give them the 41. Holt under center, I formation, and talk about your unbalanced lines. Now we've got a flag on the play. Is this
delay game?
Delay game? It was a delay game. So they discussed what they wanted to do, but they did not come out of the huddle quick enough.
5-yard penalty.
Was there like one player, 2 players to the left of center on that play?
The tight end is the only one over on the other side.
Is that all you need?
Well, yes. There is no the center on either side. You just have to have a legal end, a number on the end, or you have to report alignment as an offensive player or eligible receiver. So what they did was when they bring that guy over, they don't have to do that.
Now they come out in that same formation, and now we've got movement on the Trojans on the line. And I think this is going to cost the Trojans another 5.
False start on the Trojans, 5-yard penalty. Ball will be placed on the 49-yard line.
So we'll go back.
False start on the Trojans, 5-yard penalty. Ball will be placed on the 49-yard line.
So we'll go back We'll go back now to the Lake City 49-yard line. Same formation again, and now we'll get a handoff to Thome, and a great tackle. Hendrickson bursting through and wrapping up Thome before he could get over midfield, give him the 50, but nothing more as Bam Bam broke through.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because downfield, Ben Marion he took out 2 Ramblers with his own block by himself, and if they would have gotten that far, that would have been a dangerous big run, but Bam Bam made sure it never developed. With his own block by himself.
4:50 remaining in the third as the clock continues to tick.
Big run, but Bam Bam made sure it never
knows the ball right on the 50. 2 receivers split either way for the Trojans. Marion is the slot receiver on the near side as the Trojans go left to right. Holt back to pass, steps up in the pocket. He'll pull it down and run with it. Now being chased by Brown to the left edge. Got over the edge and then barreling his way through Auden Ealing on the far sideline. And he is over the original line of scrimmage, close to the 40-yard line. Actually going to give him the 39 of McBain. So an 11-yard pickup by Matthew Holt on a tough run. But it's going to bring up 4th down now and about 8 for Lake City. By Matthew Holt on a tough run.
All right, so obviously Lake City is going to go for it in this situation. It'll be interesting to see McBain if they can stand up on this one. You know, Holt likes to find Marion, and Marion's proved himself to be a dangerous receiver. It'll be interesting to see McBain if they can stand up on this one.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Holt back to pass, steps up, throws underneath, and for Berkmos, had a paw on it. Nobody else was close enough. And the incomplete pass means the Rambler defense has done the job again. And it is a turnover on downs. McBain will take over at their own 39-yard line. Now, Hawkeye, they just need to get their own offense going.
Yeah,
at their own 39-yard line.
And this is where
Hawkeye,
McBain's got to make some hay here, because they need to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this game. McBain's got to make
Sealing in the shotgun. Here. He's got 2 receivers split either way. He's going to keep it himself, straight up the middle, and Sealand over the 40, just shy of the 45, give him the 43-yard line. Gain of 4, it'll be 2nd and 6. Boy, he held that. He waited a long time on that fake to Vandenbos. Certainly kept a lot of defenders wondering, but he waited a
2nd down and 6 for the Ramblers.
Lake City's made some nice moves penetration-wise. Defenders messed that up at times. Shotgun situation again now. Sealand again keeps it himself and wrapped up in the backfield. Nothing going there as Skylar Miller got inside and got him by the ankles. Back at the 41-yard line.
Tackled by number 67, Skylar Miller.
Loss of 2, and it'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Back at the 41-yard line. 3rd down and 9 for the Ramblers.
Loss of 2. And it'll bring up 2:37 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Sealand in the shotgun again, trips to his right. He'll roll to his right, under pressure, gets away, throws underneath, and a little low for the 6'6" Garrett for Berkmos, who can't come up with it. And it's going to bring up 4th down now for McBain. For the 6'6" Garrett for Berkmos, who can't come up with it. And it's going to bring up 4th down. So the second half has been all about the defenses. Lake City did put together a decent drive on their last possession, but punts and downs has been the name of the game here in the 3rd quarter, as Noah Hendrickson corrals a high snap and gets off a punt that got partially blocked, but it's going to take a McBain roll, and we'll be down at the Lake City 43-yard line. That was a high snap. Boy, it's amazing, Hawkeye, how quickly just that little hesitation messes with the timing of everything, and it makes it difficult to get the punt off.
Placed on the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Lake City Trojans.
Just that little hesitation messes with the timing of everything, and it makes it difficult to get the punt off. 2:20 remaining. here in the third. Holt in the shotgun. Two receivers split either way. Holt under pressure, stepping up, and he's going to get hit. Sheds a tackler. Can't say Sheds. Justin Camphouse had Holt wrapped up for all intents and purposes, and Holt just refused to go down, twisting away, and got out over the 45-yard line to the 46. Ended up gaining 3. It'll be second. Actually, sorry, the ball marked at the 44 initially, so give him 2. It'll be second and a long 8 for Lake City. Ball marked at the 44 initially, so give him 2. It'll be second and a long 8. Minute 35 and ticking. Holt back to pass. Camphouse coming, and oh my goodness gracious. Noah Hendrickson, minute 35, came flying in from the inside. Oh my goodness gracious. And the
Pass intended for number 10, Noah Thome.
Trojans taking a little
9 for the Trojans.
from the inside. And a little unhappy felt that Hendrickson, I don't know, Hawkeye, went for the player and not the ball at all, maybe? Is that the thinking? Maybe by Lake City?
He did.
Yes.
But the ball was past him, and what Thome was exposed. And Noah Henderson took full advantage of that. He did. Yes. But the ball was past him.
Holt rolling to his right, trying to find Benjamin Marion, who ends up in large part playing defender. Batted that down so that the Ramblers couldn't get to it, but we've got a flag on the play, and it's going to be a hold against Lake City.
A hold against Owen Bonico, because they were holding Owen Bonico on that play again. So good inside pursuit. The tackles for McBain have actually started to widen out a little bit, and they're coming with an upright stance. So McBain needs to decide, fourth down and 9 with the Trojans, or do you push it back and make it third down and 19? Or it could be even more than 19. It could be closer to 20-something.
Well, I think McBain is going to take their chances with this 4th and 9 now, because they have declined the penalty. Well, I think McBain is going to have 2 punters again in the backfield. And Thome is going to pull it down straight ahead. It drilled, and he will be stopped short. Thome spun away from the first contact and looked like he might have a chance. But Noah Hendrickson was one of the defenders who came up and met him rudely, stopping Thome, who had a great head of steam. And they set that up earlier, Hawkeye, on the previous 4th down play where they set up like that. Thome ended up punting it. This time, Thome, trying to pick up the first down, is going to get stopped. And so the Ramblers will take over at their own 48.
Yeah, and give Isaac Culp, the Bear, call for the Thome keeper and to be ready for that.
There's a pitch to Auden Ealing. Ealing around the right edge, ducking underneath. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Probably lost a yard. There's a pitch to Auden Ealing.
Second down and 10 for the Ramblers.
You know, as fast as the defensive line of the Trojans is pursuing, I'm not sure how I feel about deep pitches.
Yeah. I have to think some of these Trojans might actually pick it off in the air and run it back. That's how deep they're getting in there.
But there's other ways, counters and trickeration, to slow down a rush. Unbalanced line again.
Trips to the left for Sealand. Sealand will roll to his left. This time he's got some blocking and some space. We got a flag on the play. And that's either going to be Barton or Ealing, potentially. They were the 2 blockers on that side. I don't know who they're calling this on.
Matthew Holt, flag on the play.
Thought Ealing was just doing a nice job of holding his block, but maybe he was actually holding his block.
That's a tough play to there, you know. It's obviously going to be a holding play, a call. But actually, I think they're calling a leg whip on one of the interior linemen. Because I thought both wide receivers, they had their hands inside. Now, holding's not what we used to think holding was.
No, right.
And we used to think that you were not allowed to grab the other person's jerseys, but if you keep your hands inside the numbers or in between the pits, you're okay. We used to think that you're not allowed to. But I think they're calling a leg whip block on an interior lineman.
A lot of discussion. They're coming to talking to both coaches. The referee still has not given a signal quite yet.
I think they're calling a leg whip block. On an interior line.
Lake City's moving forward. It's a hold
Decline
on McBain, and then we have a personal foul. It is the leg whip.
Lost it down.
Yeah.
Decline.
So it's a 15-yard penalty and a loss of down. So McBain.
Holding was declined.
Lost it down.
The penalty that was accepted was
15-yard penalty and
tripping. Be second down. And
so with 28 seconds left here in the third quarter, McBain looking at a 2nd and 28 back at their own 30-yard line. So with 28 seconds left, Ealing leaping over a defender will gain about a yard. I think he actually went vertically farther than he went horizontally on that play.
Yeah, that really didn't develop the way you were hoping it would.
I think he actually went vertically farther than he went horizontally on that play.
And McBain's going to let it run out to half for the fourth quarter.
3 quarters in the books. 14-6. The Lake City Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers here at McBain High School. Final 8 minutes coming up. We'll be back right after this. 14-6. The Lake City
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools offers a quality, well-rounded education for the whole child. McBain students have a technological head start from the beginning with their own issued MacBook or iPad. Rambler students are immersed in strong curriculum, including access to a large variety of vocational programs, a winning athletics program, and access to a new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Challenging competitive times require a challenging competitive education. Give your child the McBain advantage. McBain Rural Agricultural Schools.
Crandall Precision is your start-to-finish custom machine shop specializing in custom machine components and repair work with no minimum quantity limit. Need a special part you're having a hard time finding? Bring it to Crandall Precision and see what they can do for you. Crandall Precision has been offering fast, high-quality work for over 35 years, and they are committed to continuing that for years to come. Call Crandall Precision at 231-775-7101. That's 231-775-7101. Or you can reach them by email at crandallprecision@gmail.com. Crandall Precision, high-quality custom machine parts for any project, big or small.
Fourth quarter coming up here from McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna, Aaron Dusa turning the dials, running the board. Our engineer back in the studio doing a fine job. She can only make us sound good. She can't make me talk good. 14-6, the Lake City Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers, and the Ramblers facing a 3rd and 20 from their 28 from their own 30-yard line as Gavin Seelan back to pass, looking for Verberkmos, but throwing it behind him, and it will bring up 4th down now.
$1,060.
Oh my word. That is a 50-50 drawing, Hawkeye. $1,060 going to the winner of this 50-50 drawing. Although we all know that $1,000 is not necessarily going to the winner because there will be a lot of pressure to give some of that back in this situation. Yeah. Hendrickson back to punt for McBain, gets off a beauty. It's going to take a great McBain bounce and roll right through the legs of Davis. Davis saying he didn't touch it, and he better hope he didn't, and he did not. A great punt by Hendrickson will put it back at the 18-yard line. The Ramblers, and he did not. The Ramblers think that we'll put it back at the 18-yard Ramblers line. Insisting that Lake City touch the ball. But I don't know that you can advance it. Can you in that situation? Ramblers insisting that Lake City touch the ball.
No, you can't advance it. The whistle blew.
But I don't know
when the whistle blew and the
right. So, however, they don't believe Lake City touched the ball. So
the whistle blew. Yeah.
Davis did a nice job of selling that he did not. You're listening to WCDY, McBain, Cadillac, Lake City. Jay Simon, Gary Hawkeye Vanna with you. Lake City will take over. 11:46 to go here in the ball game. And it's a 14-6 Lake City lead as the defenses have really taken over here in the second half. And as I say that, there's a big run by David Greenfield. Looked like somebody might have got a face full of mask on that play, but
tackled by Kate Brown, Auden Ely,
not flagged.
and Logan Vandermoss.
Looked like somebody might have got a face full of mask.
To get your 50-50 tickets out right now, we'll do the drawing. 774
Well,
6-4-8-6.
third quarter and change, Hawkeye.
6-4-8-6.
5 punts and a turnover on downs.
Winning ticket, please come to the press box.
Well,
Third quarter.
so your defense has answered the bell to this high-scoring Lake City offense.
5 punts and a turnover on downs. And after the first down run by Greenfield, the handoff to Thome.
Again, the winning ticket number is 77.
Is that a host of Ramblers? Is it a gaggle of Ramblers?
Convoy.
A convoy of Ramblers, yes. There you go. You're right. I should have known. Is that a host of Ramblers? Is it a gaggle
Convoy of Ramblers.
Convoy of Ramblers, yes.
Because Ramblers are a car.
Convoy of Ramblers, yes. 10:40 remaining in the ball game. 14-6 Lake City. Trojans with the ball. I formation behind Matthew Holt. He'll give it to the fullback, who lowers his shoulder, goes through an arm tackle, and then bursts over the 40-yard line. Big run from Miles McLeod, but there is a flag on the play. And it's in the backfield of Lake City, which is not usually good for the offense, as Noah Hendrickson
is going to timeout.
Runs over to the sideline. It's in the backfield of Lake
They put him in timeout.
Not usually good for the offense, as Noah Hendrickson
Is going to timeout.
runs over to the sideline. Was the flag?
They put him in timeout.
Is that what the flag was about? Is that what you're saying?
Against the Ramblers.
Hawkeye, you got to explain that one to me. What happened?
Well, way behind the play, and the ball is 15 yards down the field, a McBain Rambler got a little bit too friendly with the quarterback from Lake City and make sure that he got a little grass stain on his jersey.
Oh, I got you.
McBain Rambler got a little bit too
We said somebody equipment timeout, so I was confused, but more of a timeout. All right, well, that's going to give Lake City the ball in McBain territory at the 40-yard line as I struggle to keep up on the drive chart. Handoff is up the middle. So it's a big gain and the penalty. Did not help matters. So nose on the ball will be at the 35 to 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5 now with 10 minutes exactly to go. In this one, the second half has moved along pretty quickly because there hasn't been a lot of stoppages in play. The offenses have struggled to get something going. But there's your reverse jinx.
And they haven't aired the ball out very much.
No. The offenses have struggled to get something going. And we got another flag as the Ramblers stuff Greenfield at the line of scrimmage, but a flag came in from the back judge. 28-22 Hawkeye. Manton has regained the lead over Beale City over in 107.1 The Drive. Now we got a Lake City holding penalty, which is going to send them back after the loss of yards. Now we got a Lake City holding penalty. So the play resulted in no gain. And now the penalty will send them back to the McBain 45-yard line. Second and 15 now for Lake City. 9.5 minutes remaining in this one. 14-6, McBain with the lead. Excuse me, Lake City with the lead. I'm being hawk-eyed. McBain everything.
Yep.
Now we got another flag from the head linesman, and it's going to be movement on the Trojans, which means that's going to cost them another 5 and take them back to midfield. In my little drive chart, Hawkeye, I put a little P in the corner of each box when there's a play that results that there's a penalty as I put the yardage in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot more P's in this drive chart than there have been in several games.
Yeah, this has been an ugly drive.
Yeah. There's a lot more P's in this drive chart than there have been in several games. Clock continues to tick. We're at 9:05. 2nd and 20 now from midfield for Lake City, and this is where you want to make sure somebody has an eye on Benjamin Marion. I formation, Holt, back to pass. Firing up the right sideline, looking for Davis, and Davis spun to the ground. And I'm not going to lie, Hawkeye, we're hearing some histrionics from the Rambler coaching box, and all 3 Ramblers in the area holding their hands out like, what in the world happened? Because I'm not going to lie, it looked like Davis got shot. And he spun as he was running out. That's either a clear defensive interference penalty or one of the greatest acting jobs I've ever seen from a wide receiver. In either case, I'd give him kudos.
I think, let's just say the new Oscar award's going to look good in Lake City.
Hey, to be clear, this is not a criticism of Davis. That is, hey, if you know you can't catch the ball.
It looked like Davis went to spin to try and track it down, and so did the McBain Rambler at the exact same time.
Yeah.
But to do that, he used his forearm shiver to push off Davis to get a better beat on the ball.
There you go.
At the exact same time. And then Davis made sure everyone knew that.
So the 15 yards brings them up to the 35-yard line. There you go.
David Greenfield, the ball carrier, tackled by 75, Owen Bonico. 3rd down and 3 for the Trojans.
3 consecutive boxes, Hawkeye, with P's in them.
And what are the numbers next to those P's?
Well, it's the yardage, but it was 10 yards, 5 yards, 15 yards.
Yeah, that's 3 plays, 30 yards of movement.
But it was McBain faithful, trying to get him going. We got a flag on the play by the linesman.
Of course we do.
Just when I thought this was going to be an earlier night. Trying to get him going. We got a flag on the play by the linesman.
And that's going to have to be
I assume on Lake City. Just when I thought usually an earlier night. To line up in the neutral zone, usually blow that dead right away, but
right.
They'll take him back to the 38-yard line. Another 5-yard penalty.
Trojan penalty. Third down and 8 for the Trojans.
7:58 remaining in the ball game, Hawkeye, and the offenses for both of these teams have just struggled mightily. Of course, the defense is doing everything they can to help them out at times. I formation, unbalanced line. Handoff is to the fullback. McLeod had a nice run earlier. The defense is doing everything they can to help them out at times. Actually, it was 35. No, McLeod had a nice run earlier.
I got Louis on the tackle. You can look for the knee brace.
Actually, it was 30. Usually McLeod, I think, is the up back on that. The fullback, I think it was 44.
David Greenfield, the ball carrier.
And that's 8 tackles for Louis. Logan Vanderboss.
And Logan Vanderboss. A 4th down and 3 for the Trojans.
It's insane. This is the most boxes on a play chart I've ever had. Verberkmos's parents yelling to the student section to get up as we got a timeout in Lake City before the play, which resulted in a not first down, but Lake City called a timeout before the play was snapped. So with 6:58 to go, a 4th and 3 coming up for Lake City and a timeout on the field. We will keep it right here. Don't forget to stick around. The post-game show, the Taylor Mechanical post-game show will be coming up. We'll have the Judy K. Gildy Photography Picture Perfect Play of the Game. We'll have the George Johnson All Heart Award, and we'll have the Huttinga Electric Lineman of the Game, as well as the most exciting 15 seconds in all of broadcasting, the Hawkeye Player of the Game, brought to you by Taylor Mechanical. As well as the most exciting 4th and 3, Garrett Verberkmos's parents, Dan and Dawn Verberkmos. Dawn, of course, the varsity volleyball coach here for a while. Yeah. She was for a while. She's now the 8th grade volleyball coach.
I'll shut up.
Dan has coached basketball and track here. All their kids very involved in athletics. And they are on their feet. And when they're on their feet, they're blocking a lot of views. Trying to extol these Ramblers on in this situation. 4th and 3, big play coming up for both sides. Unbalanced line for the Ramblers, or the Trojans. Handoff is to the fullback, and I believe he's got the first down as he knifes his way forward. And they're going to mark this right about the 30-yard line, and McLeod's got it. Miles McLeod's only had a few handoffs, carries in this game, Hawkeye, but he has picked up huge, important yards. None bigger than that one is it's a first down with 6:54 to go in this game.
Yeah, that was a huge play because it keeps the clock moving for the Trojans, and it does reset the downs. Yeah, that was
incredibly 8 plays, 5 penalties, and we finally have a first down as Greenfield takes the handoff up to about the 27. Give him a couple.
Daniel Rodenbaugh got in there on the tackle on that one.
Tackled by number
20.
Daniel Rodenbaugh.
Got in there on the tackle on that one.
Hawkeye doing multiple jobs tonight as he is spotting for Al Thomas, our PA announcer, and doing color analysis. There's nothing Hawkeye can't do, folks. I formation for the Trojans. Holt hands it off to Thome. Thome around the right edge. And I heard a whistle before that ball went to the turf, so I don't think that's going to help anything. Mark it at about the 25-yard line.
Tackled by George Brown and Owen Bonico. 3rd down and 5 for the Trojans.
Gain of 2, 3rd and 5 now for Lake City. 5:40 and ticking to go in this one. 14-6. Lake City with the lead. But it has been a defensive battle since early in the second quarter.
Unbalanced line again.
I formation. Handoff is to McLeod, and McLeod is going to be stood up at the line and shoved back.
And loses a helmet.
Forward progression will give him I formation. Handoff is to McLeod. Looks like they're going to give him about the Al Thomas taking your suggestion, Hawkeye. Convoy of Ramblers.
And 4 for the Trojans.
So here we go again. Ball is marked at the 24-yard line. It is 4th down and 4 now for Lake City.
But I tell you what, every time they've done this, it's been Miles' show where they give it to...
having lost a helmet, can he be out there?
No,
now?
He has to come out for a play.
Yep. So here we go.
So Miles McLeod, cousin to Garrett Verberkmos, is out.
4th and 4 for Lake City. 5 minutes to go in this game. Another big 4th down play. I formation again. Greenfield is your tailback. Holt hands it off to Greenfield. Greenfield over the right edge. Met and driven to the turf. He is going to be short. And the McBain Ramblers defense steps up and gets the stop. The turnover on downs with 4:45 remaining will give them the ball back.
I got Owen Bonico making great penetration right there. Giving McBain another chance here.
Daniel Rodenbaugh. Turnover downs, 1st down, Ramblers.
I think it's now time to watch the air show, and let's get Verberkmos going on this one.
They've hit him a few times on short passes, but they haven't been able to get him loose.
And let's get Verberkmos going on this one.
Handoff is up the middle, and he's got room over the 35 and just shy of the 40. Gavin Seelan out to the 39-yard line. Big run from Gavin Seelan. A 16-yard pickup is a first down for McBain. Seelan, as we mentioned in the pregame, dealing with that hamstring injury. Using him on just the offensive side of the ball, and it seems to be working well as he has been running well. Vandenbos in the backfield with Seelan. 2 receivers split to the left. Single receiver to the near side as the Ramblers go left to right. Handoff is to Vandenbos. Vandenbos turns the corner, lowers the boom. Vandenbos over midfield and finally dropped just shy of the 45-yard line of Lake City. Vandenbos was hit at around the McBain 45, Hawkeye, and absolutely turned into a battering ram, rolling over his Lake City defender, and picks up a first down, stepped out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Lake City.
You know, as soon as Vandenbos gets the ball, he's running downhill, and that is impressive to see. And there he used his one move.
And now we got a flag by the lineman on the near side.
Flag on the play.
The ball line to the play ended up shy of the line of scrimmage, but we'll see what this is. It's offsides by the Trojans. The Trojans lined up in the neutral zone. So McBain will pick up 5 yards. And right now, Lady Mo, Hawkeye, on the green side of the field. So McBain will pick up 5 yards. And right so move that up to the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 5 now with 4:10 to go. In the game, 14-6, Lake City with the win. The Trojans trying to get a stop. The Ramblers need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Handoff is to Ealing. Auden Ealing trying to turn the corner, does, and he is tackled nicely in the open field by Davis. Devin Davis with a great tackle on the near sideline. Ealing gets to the 42. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for McBain as the clock ticks down to the 3:45 mark remaining here in the 4th quarter. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for McBain as the clock ticks down. Seelan's not sure of the play. Now he's going to shift Vandenbos to his right. He's got 2 receivers split either way. Sealan wants to pass, rolling to his left. Being chased. Sealan's going to get to the edge. He's got the first down. As he dances out of bounds in front of the Lake City bench, Gavin Sealan. Hawkeye finding a 5th gear I didn't know he had, and escaping the pressure on the far side to get another Rambler first down.
First down, Rambler.
Gavin Sealan? Did you say Gavin Sealan? Because all I saw out there was Houdini. Because if Houdini who done it, that's Gavin Sealan.
Clock stops with 3:24 to go in the game. And it's a 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line now of Lake City for McBain. Clock stops with 3:24 to go in the game. Trips to the right. And it's a 1st. Vandenbos in the backfield with Sealan. Barton, the lone receiver, to the left. Sealan rolling to his right. Has time. Looking to throw underneath for Burkmos. And did he stay out in bounds? I don't think he did. I think he stepped out and came back in because the official throwing a flag for Burkmos, I believe, stepped out of bounds and then was the first to touch the ball when he came back in. And so that will be, I believe it's just a loss of down. Well, they're picking the flag up. That means it's a catch.
Oh, what a big play.
No, they're saying he stayed in bounds. Well, they're picking the flag up. I never saw him, Hawkeye, step out of bounds in the first place. I assume that's what the play was, or the penalty call was. And the catch, his feet were in bounds. His knee went out of bounds after he caught it, but it was close.
No, wait.
Now let's see what the discussion is.
And they've already moved the chains.
His feet were in bounds. His knee went out of bounds after he caught it, but it was close. So now there's some discussion by the officiating crew. Burkmos made the catch. The question was he in bounds when he made the catch, number one? Number two, did he step out of bounds before he made the catch and was the first one to touch the ball? Both would obviously not be legal plays. Right now, it's just a matter of these 5 gentlemen in black and white vertical stripes, what did they see and who saw the best look at it, right?
Yeah, that is correct. And they're still discussing it, which is what you want.
It's exactly what you want, yes. Full credit to our officiating crew tonight. This is what you want them to do. Come together and try to get it right. It's no instant replay in high school. Every single person on the far side of the field saw it one way. Everybody on this side of the field saw it another way.
And the officials taking the ball.
Every single person on the far side of the field saw referee head linesman's heading over to Kyle Smith, head coach of the Trojans, to tell him what's going on. The referee is still in the middle of the field. Ramblers are trying to, they want to come to the ball right away. The ball is going to be marked what's going on.
So it's an
at the
pass,
30.
Right?
No, this isn't. They weren't. They want to come to the. Hang on, they're still discussing it. They were at the 38.
So it's an incomplete pass, right?
It was a first down. They have moved the ball up to the 32, Hawkeye. That's where the catch was made. So it was a successful catch.
It was a first down. 3rd down and 3 for the Ramblers.
So it's a 3rd down and about 3 to go now for McBain as they hurry to the line. And now there's a fumble.
3rd down and 3 for the Ramblers.
And I can't tell if Sealan got it back or not. I think he did. He did. Boy.
Fumble on the play. Covered by
And the tough thing for McBain right now, Hawkeyes, they had all the momentum, and that confusion sort of stalled it. Then they tried to rush that play, led to a fumble. They're fortunate to get it back, but now they're back at the 35-yard line. Although I'm not sure why it's fourth down. I must have missed a play. That's fair. So now we're looking at fourth down and 7 for McBain. They got trips to the left, Sealing in the backfield, and now we're going to get a McBain timeout. Did I miss a down? You've had this fourth down the whole time, right?
No, I had a third down also because you had the Houdini run.
That's the first down.
And then I had the pass.
The pass was the next play.
No. And then this last fumble would be third down.
Yeah.
But they didn't give him a first down on the pass.
No, they shouldn't have.
So the Houdini run.
Why are we on fourth? The Houdini run was first down.
Yeah.
The pass was the next play, wasn't it? That's how I had it on my drive chart.
That's the way I have it too.
How did they lose it down? No, the Houdini run was first down. Yeah. The pass play to Verberkmos, and now we're discussing this in the press box on the radio, but that was the next play after the first down.
I had third down also, so I think what happened.
But they completed the pass. So it was 2nd and 3. Then they fumbled. It should be third down. No, but they have fourth on the far thing. So it makes no sense. Yes, and not by legitimate means is what I'm trying to say. McBain lost it down. Right, McBain lost it down, but I don't know that anybody has caught it. On my drive chart, and now the officials are still discussing this. But I don't know that anybody has caught it.
And they're calling it fourth down.
They're still saying fourth down. Well, in any case, here we go. 4th and 7, 2:36 to go in the game. Officials are still discussing this. Sealing in the back. Shotgun formation, and now Kyle Smith.
No, the penalty because 2 linemen shifted after they got onto the line.
Sealing in the back. Shotgun formation, and now. Did he throw the flag?
Yes.
Flag on the play.
Because 2 linemen
Goodness
shifted
gracious.
after they got onto the line.
This. Boy, McBain had all the momentum in the world, and the confusion after the Verberkmos catch has really created some. Boy, McBain had all the momentum in the world. Chaos on the Rambler side of the field. Now they're going to go back 5 more yards. Again, as far as I know, it should be 3rd and long, but it's 4th down. Still trying to figure out where this down disappeared to, and I'll be curious when Coach Maloney looks at this on film if he sees that they lost a down in this sequence. 2:36 to go, 4th and 12 now for McBain. Sealand rolling to his left, wants to go deep, and overthrew. We're going to flag on the play. Are you kidding me? Wow.
We got the official over here pointing first down the other way. There's a flag on the back end.
Garrett Verberkmos went to the turf. Might have gotten tangled up. He's coming up holding his arm. Garrett Verberkmos. Was there a flag in the backfield, Hawkeye?
No, there was no flag in the backfield, but the official already pointed first down for Lake City.
Gotcha.
And never saw the flag thrown.
Never saw the flag thrown, yeah. So Verberkmos comes up hurting. But now we're looking at a 15-yard penalty on the defensive pass interference, and this should be a McBain first down as they tell the chains to move. But now we're looking at a 15. It was 4th and 11, 4th and 12, and now it's going to be first down with 2:30 to go. This is one of the more bizarre endings I've seen in a while, Hawkeye.
All season.
First down for the Ramblers on the 35-yard line, 25-yard line.
McBain will take advantage. Back-to-back penalties. George Brown in motion. Sealand wanted to keep it. Brown tried to take it. It's on the turf again, but McBain will retain it. Sealand tried to take it out of Brown's breadbasket. Brown tried to hold onto it, and the ball went to the turf again. McBain will retain it. And so McBain is going to lose 5 yards, make it 4. Back to the 29-yard line. It's a 2nd down now and 14 for McBain. He's going to lose 5 yards, make it 4. Back to the 29-yard line. What a crazy finish. 2 receivers split either way for McBain. Sealand in the shotgun with Vandenbos in the backfield. Back to pass. Fires over to the right side. Has for Berkmos. Berkmos makes a move to the sideline. Lost the ball, but it will go out of bounds. And McBain will keep it. Oh, my goodness. It'll be McBain ball at the 16-yard line. For Berkmos with a little jab step to his left. Looked like he might be breaking free, and it got poked out of his hands, and the ball just barely rolled out of bounds. And the Ramblers hang on to it. It'll bring up 3rd and short now with 1:43 to go from the 16. And the Ramblers hang on to it.
Crowd's getting fired up.
Pistol formation now for Sealand. 2 receivers split either way. Vandenbos behind him. Sealand gives it to Vandenbos, and he is met and drilled as the Trojan line and linebackers do a great job of reading that play and stopping Vandenbos shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 3 now for McBain. Do a great job of reading that play and stopping Vandenbos shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 3 Lake City coaching staff indicating that they expect Sealand to run this ball to the left. But McBain is going to call timeout. 1:17 to go in this one. 14-6 Lake City. We've had no scoring since early in the second quarter, as the defenses have really stepped up in the second half, coupled with some offensive chicanery.
I don't know what you want to call it. If that's a big fancy word for screw-ups, then I guess chicanery is the right thing.
Oh, my word. This has been an insane second half, and we're not done. 1:17 remaining, and the Ramblers are looking at another 4th down situation. They benefited from a defensive pass interference to get the first down last time. The Lake City coaching staff seems to think we're going to see Gavin Sealand to the left. We'll see what Coach Maloney dials up. 4th and a long 2. Sealand in the pistol. 2 receivers split either way. Vandenbos behind him. 4th and a long 2. Sealand in the pistol. Trojans showing blitz. Vandenbos behind him. Sealand stands up, calls something out. Now we got a man in motion is George Brown. Sealand fakes to Brown, rolling to his left. He's got room for the first, and he's got it. Sealand will run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and it's a 1st and goal for the Ramblers. And Hawkeye, you got to give the offensive line a ton of credit for not flinching as the Trojans kept stepping up and indicating like they were going to blitz. They kept their discipline, and the fake to Brown drew enough attention that Sealand and his afterburners pick up the first.
Yeah, that was a block by Louis Vandenbos on the outside linebacker to free up that corner to keep this drive and the Rambler hopes alive.
1st and goal from the 9. Trips to the right. Sealand in the shotgun with Vandenbos in the backfield. Barton, the lone receiver, to your left. Gavin Sealand rolling to his right. Steps inside, and he is tripped up. A great tackle there by Thomas Bloomberg III, whose name we have said repeatedly, as he got penetration and prevented Sealand from cutting back as we get down to 50 seconds to go. I don't even know how many timeouts McBain might have. I assume they have 1. And prevented Sealand from cutting back as we get down to 50 seconds to go. Back at the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. Sealand rolling to his right, firing, caught by Berkmos, but he is stopped short of the goal line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1 for McBain. But he is stopped short of the goal line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1.
Now the time again.
And now we're going to get a timeout with 25 seconds remaining. McBain takes the timeout. And now we're going to get a timeout. Some craziness in the press box here.
Oh, I know. The officials are giving mixed signals.
They are.
Everyone's yelling at what they need to be done for them to win. Everyone's on the edge of their seats if they're even bothering to be sitting at this point. I don't know who really is sitting.
It's a 15-play drive, Hawkeye, that started with 4:45 to go. They're going to reset the clock to 28 seconds. 15-play drive, Hawkeye, that started with 4:45 to go. Which Lake City would disagree that there should be more time on the clock because they felt like it shouldn't have stopped.
But they got
the officials are actually putting it back. More time on.
That's for the down.
Right. Well,
we traded one down for 3 seconds.
Here we go. 3rd and goal from the 1 as the officials. I don't know why these guys are all on the line and getting ready to call the play, and there's 4 officials standing behind them, not paying any attention to them. So. And this has been an interesting game from an officiating standpoint, no question. This is, and I want to be clear, I say this all the time, the hardest job in the universe, the 2 hardest jobs in the universe are mothering and officiating, and I want nothing to do with either of them. The 3rd hardest job is being a clock operator. I'm convinced of that. The 2 hardest jobs in the universe.
So McBain is now out of timeouts.
So you would assume that Coach Maloney has given them 2 plays.
So McBain is now out of timeouts.
Or they're going to be prepared to look over and run something quickly, maybe a formation that they already know to go to. Or they're going to be prepared to look over. The one official, as the clock operator explaining, the one official indicating to stop the clock, the far official then restarting the clock. The ball was caught short of the goal line on Verberkmos's catch. He was then driven back to the 3. They gave him the 1, which is proper, where he caught the ball, where his forward momentum was stopped. Then I don't know why they put 3 seconds back on the clock. And so now with 28 seconds remaining, the Ramblers with 3rd and goal. Seelan gives it to Vandenbos, and he is crushed at the goal line. Did he get in? He did not. Head linesman comes running forward, and now the Ramblers have got to scramble to get back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal with 15 seconds to go. Clock continues to run. Seelan in the shotgun. Seelan rolling back. Seelan heading for the end zone. Flag? We got a flag on the play and no indication.
We got face mask on that play.
There's no indication of a touchdown. The Trojans wanted a hold in the backfield.
Are they going to go offsetting?
There's no indication of a touchdown. Might we get one play with 5 seconds left? Hold in the backfield.
They're calling
Verberkmos is indicating, might we get one play with 5 seconds left? Garrett Verberkmos, knees buckling, so he clearly doesn't like what just happened. Flags are being picked up, and now we'll see what the referee indicates. There was no touchdown indication.
Holding. Face mask.
Holding on the Ramblers, face mask on the Trojans. The penalties will offset, and we will reset 4th down now. There's still a flag sitting back at the 5-yard line. Coach Maloney calling the play out to Seelan. There's 5.6 seconds on the clock. Sitting back at the 5-yard line. 2 receivers split either way. Seelan takes the pass, throws, looking for the corner for Verberkmos, and it is knocked out of his hands.
Flag in the backfield.
There is a flag in the backfield. It is a roughing the passer penalty on the Trojans, which means the Ramblers are going to get another shot at it. It is a roughing the passer penalty. First and foremost, give a lot of credit to Ryan Towinski for making a great defensive play. That ball was in the hands of Verberkmos, and Towinski knocked it out of his hands to prevent the touchdown. There is a 1/10 of a second on the clock. As we know, a game can't end on a defensive penalty, but the game hasn't technically ended. There is a 1/10 of a second on the clock. There is a 1/10 of a second on the clock. The roughing the passer penalty can't end on a defensive penalty, but the game hasn't. It gives them half the distance to the goal, which is about 4 inches. The nose of the ball is just shy of the goal line. I don't know why you don't go under center here, unless they never practice it. Pistol formation now. Seelan, man in motion. Seelan hands it off. And in the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers.
No time left.
Seelan, man in motion. Seelan And now the game will come down to a 2-point conversion attempt. 14-12.
Touchdown running by number 35, Logan Vandenbosch.
Lake City with the lead after Vandenbosch runs it into the end zone.
14-12.
Lake City with the lead after Vandenbosch. And Lake City is going to call a timeout and talk it over. So a 2-point conversion attempt coming up for McBain with the game on the line. Either we are going to an extra session or the Trojans are escaping with a narrow victory. We wouldn't dare try to take a break right now. 14-12, Lake City with the lead. Logan Vandenbosch with the 1-yard touchdown plunge after a 17-play crazy drive by the Ramblers that ate up the last 4:45 of this game. Lake City had chewed up 7 minutes of their own with a 16-play drive that ended in a turnover on downs that gave McBain the life here at the end of this one. The Trojans need 1 stop. The Ramblers need 3 yards. At the end of this one. The Trojans need 1 stop. The Ramblers. McBain comes out with trips to the right. I don't believe either team has a timeout remaining. Sealing in the shotgun with Vandenbosch.
Roll out to the right, pass option.
I don't believe either team has a timeout. And now we got a flag on the play. The head linesman walking up with his head on the ground, like head down, like I don't want to call this, but I have to call this. And now we got a flag on the play. The head linesman walking up with his head on the ground, like head down. And they're calling offsides on the Ramblers. That would offensive player line up in the neutral zone? Can an offensive player line up in the neutral zone? I assume a lineman?
Yeah.
Offsides on the Ramblers. Lineman in the neutral zone. So that'll make it an 8-yard 2-point penalty, 2-point try. Same formation, Sealing, rolling to his right, wants to throw, looking back to his left, now scrambling to the left. Sealing, throwing into the end zone, knocked away. No flags on the play, and the Lake City Trojans have escaped with a 14-12 victory over the McBain Ramblers. What a finish. With a 14-12 victory over the McBain.
Thank you to all fans who came out to support
tonight
and the Ramblers and the Trojans.
What a fantastic game. That excitement at the end, the fact that Gavin Sealing dancing around left and right, trying to squeeze that in there. That was just, oh my goodness. A miracle finish in the making that was just squashed.
Crazy, crazy finish as the Ramblers come up a 2-point try shy of sending this game to overtime. Instead, Lake City moves to 3-0, but boy, the Ramblers gave them all they could handle and more in this one. We're going to take a break, collect our stats, our thoughts, and our breath as the Taylor Mechanical post-game show is coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be. The Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain. 825-8175.
The harsh northern Michigan winter is right around the corner, and that's why you need to heat your house with Holton's LP Gas. Call them today at 231-839-4600. You can contact the office for specials today. And if you're a new customer, they have specials for you as well. Holton's LP Gas has been in Lake City for 30 years, and don't worry, they service the entire listening area. They've got 24/7 live trained professionals. Holton's LP Gas is the proud sponsor of McBain Athletics.
Stop into High Point Auto and Truck Center in Cadillac for a great selection of new GMC and Cadillacs. High Point is your premier source for parts, services, tires, accessories, and new and certified used vehicles. We are your one-stop shop for every vehicle need that you may have. At High Point Auto and Truck, customer satisfaction is our goal. High quality, high standards, but low prices at High Point Cadillac GMC, located at exit 177 in Cadillac.
Who doggy? Welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna, Aaron Dusa, wondering what all the hubbub is about as the McBain Ramblers fall to the Lake City Trojans 14-12 in a crazy finish. Difficult to really adequately describe what was happening here in this second half. So, as Inigo Montoya would say in The Princess Bride, we need to start at the beginning. Lake City took a 7-0 lead after getting an interception of Gavin Seelan, a 6-yard touchdown run by Noah Thome. Gave them the 7-0 lead after the extra points. McBain answered, though, taking advantage of a Lake City fumble after giving the ball up on downs deep in Lake City territory. They got it back one play later. And then Cole Seelan with a 17-yard touchdown run made it 7-6 after the 2-point conversion attempt was intercepted. The Trojans then took the lead back early in the second quarter, on a Ben Marion 23-yard catch and run. Extra point made it 14-6, and from there, well, it was all about the defenses. The first half ended with possessions of fumble, punt, fumble, turnover on downs, interception, and the end of the half. The second half wasn't much better. 5 punts in the first 6 possessions and a turnover on downs. And we went into the fourth quarter still at 14-6 when McBain punted early in the fourth quarter. Lake City took over with 11:46 to go, and over the next 7 minutes marched down the field from their own 18 to the Rambler 23, but turned it over on downs after the Ramblers came up with a big stop, a penalty marred by offense and defense possession. McBain got the ball back with 4:45 to go with their own 23 and put their own drive together. Picked up 4 first downs, including 1 on a penalty, to get it down to the 25-yard line. Went the wrong way, then ended up with a first down at the 9 after converting 2 fourth downs. 1 on a penalty and the other on a pass completion. Got first and goal from the 9, went backward, got a pass to Berkmos down at the 1-yard line. And then on a 1-yard run, Logan Vandenbos, with no time on the clock, scored to make it 14-12. It came down to a 2-point conversion after a offsides penalty by the Ramblers. They had to go back to the 8-yard line, and the 2-point conversion came up short after Gavin Seelan's pass attempt was knocked down. As here in the postgame, McBain's fans out on the field with their players. 2 great communities coming together with a great game here, Hawkeye. And it ends in an absolute crazy great way. Obviously, unless you're a fan of one or both teams. It was a great game to watch and a difficult game to call.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, but the way I look at that, McBain has definitely closed the gap. And we looked at Lake City being the cream of the conference.
And they may still yet be.
Right, but the thing is that they destroyed McBain twice last year, and this year we had a 2-point conversion difference in the game, and McBain turned it over 4 times. they destroyed McBain twice last year, and this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Ramblers, although this is going to sting, have to take away from this that they can compete with anybody in the Highland. There's no doubt about that. I think Lake City is clearly the cream. I think Manton and Beale City are both going to be tough games, but I do think McBain can play with anybody. And although they do fall to 1 and 2, the playoffs are definitely still in their sights, especially after a big win over Morley Stanwood last week. Lake City, meanwhile, as we mentioned, moves to 3-0, and they have got to be very pleased to get away with a big road win against a tough, longtime rival here in McBain. Hawkeye, did you hand over the iPad, or did you have some stats there? You were having trouble getting back into it. It closed on you? Well, we mentioned Logan Vandenbos scoring one of the 2 touchdowns for the Ramblers, the other coming by Gavin Seelan on a 17-yard touchdown run. It comes down to the 2-point conversions. We mentioned in the opening week that Coach Pat Maloney is shooing a kicking game and going for 2 points on every touchdown. And unfortunately, today, the inability to convert at least one of the 2 cost them at least overtime in this one. But I think in the long run, it's probably still a valid theory. I like it. Ishpeming has used it for years to success, so I don't think it's a bad idea. McBain putting together their own sort of version of the family circle over on the north end of the field, and now the Lake City crowd is doing the same from the 40-yard line through to the back end of the end zone.
With a couple Ramblers in the family circle.
Absolutely. The local television interviewing head coach Kyle Smith right now, I think, because again, I mean, this was not just about football today. Gavin Seelan, I can actually see standing in Lake City's family circle there. And in a situation like this, again, it stings to lose the competition on the field, but the truth of the matter is these 2 communities are one big family when it comes to something like the fight that Harper Smith is going through right now.
Yeah, that is true, and the game is over, but the struggle and the battle that Coach Smith has to go on every day is going to have to continue. The game is over. So this is probably an extremely emotional one for him, with the everything going on in his personal life and such a huge game, and he just must be emotionally raw.
I can't even imagine. He's got the Misaki Sentinel Trophy out there, as the award given for the winner of this game, and he is addressing the crowd. We can't hear him from up here, so we're not going to try and guess. We've got some post-game awards of our own, Hawkeye, that we need to give out. This is the Taylor Mechanical post-game show, and right now it's time for the Judy K. Gildy Photography Picture Perfect Play of the Game. There were plenty of options in this one, largely on the defensive side of the ball, if I had to guess. However, I have a feeling I know what you're going to pick, and it does not, although you'd love for it to, involve a left tackle of the Ramblers. What you got?
I am going to give the Judy K. Gildy Picture Perfect Play of the Game to Logan Vandenbos with 0.1 second left in the game. Touchdown or game over, and he punches muscles, gets the ball over that goal line that they failed 3 other times to get over that goal line on a 4th down play, and they scored to give them a shot to tie.
Absolutely. There you go. Logan Vandenbos, 1 yard, really 6-inch touchdown run with a 1/10 of a second on the clock to give the Ramblers an opportunity. Cut it to 14-12 is your Judy K. Gildy Photography Picture Perfect Play of the Game. Make sure you head on over to Judy's website, or you can go find Judy K. Gildy Photography on Facebook. She's got sample photos of shots she takes during these games. And listen, it's not just about the football. I've seen some great photos of some of the band members as well. So she takes shots of everything out there. So make sure you go check her out. Right now it's time for the George Johnson All Heart Award. George Johnson, of course, longtime Rambler fan, bled green and gold, and assisted with Coach Copeman's basketball program. The George Johnson All Heart Award given to the player who most embodies the passion and desire and heart for sport that George Johnson demonstrated in his life. We lost George last year during toward the end of football season. And this award, almost as prestigious as the Hawkeye Player of the Game Award. Who you got for this one?
I am going to give it to the defensive leading tackler, and the one who only has one move, and that's to run somebody over. Logan Louis Vandenbos played as the George Johnson All-Heart Player of the Game.
There you go. Logan Vandenbos, 2 for 2. The Jody Haley Picture Perfect Play of the Game and the George Johnson All-Heart Award. I like it. I like it.
He's not winning the next one.
No, I don't think he is. I don't doubt that. This is the Taylor Mechanical post-game show, and I remind you, we will be back next Friday as we will be in Everett as the Ramblers take on the Wildcats in their first road contest. We'll be on the air right around 6:50 p.m. Right now, we want to present the Huttinga Electric lineman of the game, as Gary has a special place in his heart for the Hogs on the line, and so we have the Huttinga Electric lineman of the game. Are you going to go blood, or are you going to go some other way with this one?
The player that I'm going to give for the lineman player of the game, who was exceptional on both sides of the ball at the line, and the fact that they had to call 3 holding penalties against him when he was playing defense, is going to Owen Bonico.
Absolutely, and that's a great call. It definitely, Bonico certainly gave the offensive line of the Trojans fits, as they did everything they could to try and keep him off of Matthew Holt, and they had to hold him to do so. So there you go, the Huttinga Electric lineman of the game going to Owen Bonico. Again, this is the Taylor Mechanical post-game show. We want to make sure we thank our sponsors one last time before we get going here. They include Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Crandall Precision, McBain Family Pharmacy, the McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, Holton's LP Gas, Falmouth Co-op, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, High Flow Performance, Amp Wireless, Pluger Mechanical, LC Materials, McNally's Party Store, McBain Auto Service, and Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Our sincere thanks to each and every one of them for their support of this broadcast. And that brings us to the most exciting 15 seconds in all of sports. It is now time for the Taylor Mechanical Hawkeye Player of the Game. This is why you listen. This is why you're still listening. We know it. You know it. Hawkeye, who you got?
I am going to Zag.
Oh, no. We know it. You know it.
Hey, Louis Vandenbos led the team in tackles. That's our linebacker.
Yes.
The linebacker last couple weeks has been the safety, which means the guards and the tackles could not get to the second level to block our linebackers, leaving them freed up. Why? Because they're being eaten up by one man. This man was outstanding on the offensive line. He was outstanding on the defensive line. I'm going to call a pair of deuces on here. Owen Bonico is the Hawkeye Player of the Game.
Wowzers. So we've got a double twofer.
Pair of deuces.
Pair of deuces. Owen Bonico is your Hawkeye Player of the Game. Owen, make sure you stop by Senior's office and pick up your extravagant award. I've never seen it. I don't know what it looks like, but I know it's extravagant. Well, Hawkeye, 14-12 our final here. Crazy, exciting finish. But again, our thoughts, our prayers with the Smith family, Kyle and Linda, their daughter Harper. We hope and pray that she continues to heal. We hope and pray that she continues to improve. And it's just so nice to see these communities come together in support of something bigger than a football game. The football game was exciting. It was a terrific one, but this night was bigger than that.
Yeah, just think about how perfect this whole night was. You had as many Lake City fans as McBain fans. They're all the way around the field. You had the exciting end. Everyone's on this edge of the seat. You have no idea who won, who lost until after the game's over. They're still playing, and there's no time left on the clock, and it wasn't overtime yet. And then there was over $3,000 raised from the fans tonight just for
crazy numbers.
Harper strong cause.
Yep. Crazy number, and just a great show of support from these two communities. That's going to do it for us. For Aaron Dusa, for Gary Hawkeye Vanna, I'm Jay Simon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, folks. We will see you a week from tonight in Everett as the McBain Ramblers go on the road for the first time this season to take on the Everett Wildcats in a Highland Conference battle. And you can only hear it right here on your home exclusively for McBain Rambler Athletics, 107.9 CDY.
Good night, boys.
This McBain Rambler broadcast on 107.9 CDY and 107.9CDY.com has been sponsored by McBain Hardware, Holton's LP Gas, Northern Trucking, Falmouth Co-op, the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center, Crandall Precision, High Flow Performance, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Amp Wireless and Pluger Mechanical, McBain Family Pharmacy, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, LC Materials, McBain Auto Service, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, High Point Cadillac GMC, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Taylor Mechanical, and our streaming sponsor, McLean Transmission. Thanks for listening to this McBain Rambler Sports broadcast on 107.9 CDY.
Tonight in Everett as the McBain Ramblers go on the road for the first time this season to take on the Everett Wildcats in a Highland Conference battle. And you can only hear it right here on your home exclusively for McBain Rambler Athletics, 107.9 CDY.
Good night, boys.
This McBain Rambler broadcast on 107.9 CDY and 107.9CDY.com has been sponsored by McBain Hardware, Holton's LP Gas, Northern Trucking, Falmouth Co-op, the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center, Crandall Precision, High Flow Performance, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Amp Wireless and Pluger Mechanical, McBain Family Pharmacy, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, LC Materials, McBain Auto Service, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, High Point Cadillac GMC, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Taylor Mechanical, and our streaming sponsor, McLean Transmission. Thanks for listening to this McBain Rambler Sports broadcast on 107.9 CDY.